Streams up, she's in the zone, breaking it down from her comfy throne. Smart as hell with a side of flair, politics sass and a killer stare. Daisy's lurking tail in the frame, chat's already playing their games. That target day, sharp and bold, hot takes drop while the chaos unfolds. Truth with bite within the way, still showing up every streaming day. Brains and vibes, she leads the pack, now buckle in, no looking back. That dark night, let's go!
Such a jam. Such a jam. Always, always, always. It gets me focused as I can be. That song. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. I'm back. We're doing debate diagram again. Well, it's a conversation, but it's a debate as well. There's a versus in the title of the original video, so it's a debate. We're diagramming it, and it's a debate. So it's a debate diagram. Welcome. If you haven't liked the video yet, you should just like it right now, because you're gonna. Okay, trust the algorithm, it brought you here. Anyway, like the video, subscribe, all of that things. Just if you go forth into this and start liking what you see, just have it done. You can always unsubscribe if you don't like it later. Okay, anyway, welcome. We have Barry. Hey, Barry, do you watch bonjour? Okay, do you watch Oz Politics? Well, no, not really, actually. The closest I get is I watch Bearing videos, Bearing and Sugar Tits. So whatever if they report on it, then I'm going to hear about it. Yeah. So there's that. That's it. Good meowing, good moaning. See you, Paffy. In a reasonable time for you, time slot. If I make my streams shorter, I will be able to use this time slot regularly, but they would have to be short streams. So there's that, which is fun. I mean, that's if you look at V's streams, the way V does it, he does them for about an hour and a half, and that's it. He's like, I'm done. So maybe we do that. Anyway, hello, Heinous. Good to see you. And time for a yap. You know me. Hi, Cal. Hey, Q. Well, he says okay. So you like the videos is what you're saying okay to, is what I've decided. Yeah. So today we are going to explore a debate between Andrew Gold and a Dr. Helen Webberley. She is the pro-trans doctor who is actually seems to be doing quite a round of the internet, or of our side of the internet, because after I watched this video, the algorithm went wild and showed me all of the places she has gone and debated the other side. So good on her. Andrew actually speaks about this later on, well, in the video. So there's that. Yeah, so basically they just have a good conversation, as we've seen before on Heretics podcast. It's basically an interview, but then there's disagreement. So they have different views, and that's the debate part of it, which is, I'm fine with that. I'm really not into this debate me bro kind of idea. It's let's just relax and have a conversation, and yeah, we disagree. That's what makes it a debate. So yeah, maybe I'm over formal debate. Right, just getting our background music out here for us. I got everything else ready, but I forgot the background music. I'm so sorry. Yeah, how is everybody doing? I know it is Thanksgiving for the Americans this week. We're going to be doing a Thanksgiving with some of the thinkers. Obviously, some other thinkers will be with their families, so they won't be able to make it. But we'll do Thanksgiving. I don't do Thanksgiving, right, South African? The background is like purple. Yes, it is. Purple's the best color, Theo. You know it. Oh, Theo wrote all the... he didn't say I, but he did write YOU when he said love you. So, love you too. Yeah, because we freak out. As women, we freak out if you just put a U. Don't be doing that. You spell out the whole word. Okay. Adam is going to help me find a wife, which should be easy because according to him, I'm such a handsome chap. Yes, there you go. He likes to be a matchmaker, apparently, Mr. Adam. A debate on grammar. Yes, it actually does turn into that. It turns into certain... What is it? Semantic shenanigans happen. There he wrote it out. And there's more typing involved, so I think that counts. So yeah, for me, I'm an ultra feminist, meaning that I want women to do all of the work for me. I think that's a beautiful thing. Good luck with that. Right. So yes, before we get into it, I've got some stuff. So the conversation is, she is a doctor who has provided care for people who are transitioning, and he provides the other side of the argument that I would lean towards anyway, which is not transphobic, but would be considered transphobic by a lot of people in the trans community. That being said, as well, I'll just have this disclaimer on this topic in general on my channel, okay? If this stuff is illegal in your country, don't do it, okay? So just follow the laws of your country. Even if you do not agree with them, try and get them fixed, changed, whatever, but don't go against the law because it's unsafe to do so, okay? That's all. That's just look it up, okay? That's all I'll say. Yes. So this goes for anything that we discuss. We're also discussing their opinions, how they frame their arguments, and that's what we're going to, what do you want to even call it? That's what we're going to investigate, what we do with debates in any case. I obviously give my commentary along the way, but my commentary often will coincide with what somebody who lives in the West would say. But I'm very aware that people who live all around the world will have different views of this. And all I'm saying is, follow the law where you're at. Okay, don't do stuff as much as you think it's fine in your country. It might not be fine in other countries. So that's all I'm saying. Just be smart about it. Cool. First cousin marriage is illegal in my state, so guess I'm gonna have to move on to second cousins. Hey. But it's so much fun to do illegal things. Yes, true. Fun until it's not. Okay. So. Right. So anyway, that's just an overarching disclaimer that I am not encouraging anyone to go against the laws or social norms of their current country. Okay. Cool. Hi, Matt. How are you doing? Okay, so we are going to go into this minefield of a discussion. One of my favorite debates to have gone over was a debate involving Blair White. So this is a topic that we've gone over before on the channel, but yeah, things have gotten a bit heavier since then. Anyway, let's go. Before we actually watch the video, I am going to show you guys, I want to discuss stuff, me and you, okay? So I'm going to diagram. Oops. Where's my diagramming? Hello? Where's me at? There it is. Okay, yeah, there my camera was like, we don't need you here. The real star of the show is the diagram, which is true, guys. This is true. So in terms of the agenda of today, first we're going to do the pre-diagram diagram, where because I've watched it, I've pre-watched this, right? I haven't pre-diagrammed it, but I'm just going to give an overview of the ideas that I saw in it and the main visual thing that we'll probably be coming back to during the discussion. Okay, visualization of the of the ideas, like we did on with V's thing. I really needed that here. It will be very cool. I'll get excited at the points where I thought it's cool. Anyway, you would rather the diagram? Oh, sorry. Okay, so we've got. We'll talk about this here, but also just to let you guys know the flow of the conversation that we're going to then go through. There is a much more detailed chapter list on the original video when you go and watch it, because it will be linked below. There is that, but basically the flow of the conversation we'll go through is they talk about who Dr. Helen Webberley is. Then they do the famous question of what is a woman. So this is what I've gotten my basis from, just giving you an idea of their discussion, if you haven't watched it yet. They do talk about, they touch on the idea of whether being transgender is a mental illness. They do this several times, okay? Then we do the discussion of, are trans women actually women? What does it even mean when we're saying actually, okay? Detransitioners, okay? We talk about what's the effect of that, what do those mean? What is a woman? Round 2. So they told you that they go over this question again. Religion versus gender. So they do another kind of discussion about that, where they're actually quite similar. Just hold on, I need to bring this music lower. Is the music higher for you? Jeez. Yes, cat. Daisy ran past. Yeah. Can you play music? Oh, is it not playing, guys? It should be playing. It should be playing through the stream. Let me just check something. Or are you saying, can I play a musical instrument? Yeah, it's there. Can you not hear it? Cute. It's playing. Okay, cool. Right, so yeah, where we're at, sorry. Then they do the mental illness round 2. Okay, that again, is it a mental illness, whatever. There's a very interesting discussion about that. They talk about how good is puberty blockers. How good is puberty blockers for kids? Okay, so is it good or bad? Social contagion. This they don't get into as much as I want them to, but they do talk about being transgender as a social contagion. It's become more fashionable. The main argument there is, no, it's become easier to come out. Then to close it off, he talks about is there any doubt in this doctor's mind about what she's been saying, what her view is here. She's got no view of it. Then are men scary? Is just like a side topic they quickly go into. And then obviously the last question that he usually does when it's the end of the conversation, he says, which heretic do you admire and why? And you'll see what hers is. Did you get as frustrated as I did? I laughed. And I was just very fascinated as usual. I think I've gotten past the idea, or past the phase of getting frustrated at these things, because I just know where this view is at. And you know what, Screamage, I kind of am like, oh, they've won. So it doesn't matter. But anyway, hey Sultan, good to see you. I can do a good Brakpan accent. I sometimes fall into a Brakpan accent. You know who posted today? Oh, hold up. For all the South Africans. Okay. You know who posted today for the first time in a very long time? It was Suzelle DIY. She gave us braai hacks. Go and see Suzelle DIY. It will change your life. Okay. She's got some sort of sponsorship, and now it's her first video back. Absolutely lovely. There's Marianne in it as well. So please go and give her love. Show her, South Africans, that you still love her. Okay, Suzelle DIY. Okay, Suzelle DIY. Did you speak English there? Yes, I did. Yeah, just English most of the time. Most people can speak English. Depends of hurry up and find the big blood. You don't have a blood diamond. right? We have a deal, Creamage. I'll help you corroborate the whole story. Amen. So yes, just that was just an off thing. If you want to enjoy some weird South African culture, go and have a look there at Suzelle. She's one of the first really successful, one of my favorite successful YouTubers from South Africa. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, and she's not doing anything political, guys. She's just funny. It's just funny. She's just a good old time. I don't know if non-South Africans will find her funny or just irritating. Anyway. Right. So maybe Australians will. I think maybe the Aussies will. Any hoodles back. Stop it. It was me. I did it. Okay. So that's what they talk about. So what I gleaned from all of this, okay, and why I put that in the title, hello, two opposing views of gender. That's what they have here. That's what most of us have. We have the old view where sex and gender are separate things, separate but connected, okay? And that kind of made it okay for people to transition. It made sense that you could still transition then. And it was a rare thing, but it was fine. People were getting treatment and transitioning and all of that. But when it came into the schools and all of that, it just got very blurry. Okay, so I don't think they actually got into too much of that change. But anyway, so what I want to do is create a diagram of these views of gender so that we can, when we walk back, when we hear them, okay, when we go through the video, we'll be able to move stuff around and use it as a reference, as that's what a visual guide is for, right? That's what we create these things. A lot of people will say, why do you create the diagram? I'll show you. Okay, so the main thing that I could see between these two views is that there's a performance-based view of gender. Also, I found a setting on Xmind that I can make the branches go all over the place. So fun times. Okay, anyway, so yeah, we've got the performance-based. We could put here the woke, okay, the woke idea, the postmodernist view, essentially, even like what postmodernist kind of view. Okay. Yes. What sex are you having if the genders aren't connecting? It's very funny. Okay. So anyway, so this is like the woke version where it's performance based. It's a social construct. Let's put other words around it, right? Another way we could do it, performance based. So social construct, gender as social construct, right? Okay. It's just a social construct. The roles, what we consider feminine and what we consider masculine, are just arbitrary things that just, they evolved, but we just developed them and then they got stuck in society, and that's it. We've just been conditioned. Okay, social construct. So let's make mind maps around this and be like, okay, conditioning, social conditioning. Okay, arbitrary, because anybody can have male or female masculinity or femininity. It is pronounced masculine. You're right. That is, I'm favoriting that message. Hold up. I need to get to I've pinned on the chat. Just hold up. I need to do that. We are watching the video tonight. We are, but first we're discussing this. Okay. So it'll take us about a half an hour now. Okay. Let me see. I'm pinning that message. Okay. Right. It's just, sorry. We need to keep hydrated. Okay. Emotional based versus logical, physical, fact based. So we could, that is a commentary on top to say that that's the emotional part. I guess woke is also a commentary. So let's put it as a call out. Emotional. Okay, commentary. Because I like to try and push out the bits that we are putting on top of it, just so that they are there, we are talking about them, but they're ours. We discussed it. It was not in the video. Okay. Then sex-based would be, like you said here, facts, logical, biological, and I suppose anti-woke in terms of now, it is anti-woke now. So to answer your question there, Charles, it would be the anti-woke side, because you know everything is sides now. It would be the anti-woke side that thinks this way. Okay, so because everything is sex-based, yes. But yes, it is sex-based because I'm actually going to say gender. Okay, so what do we mean by gender? We mean male and female, right? Masculinity and femininity. Male and female qualities, right? When it comes to gender, okay? We did start off with gender and sex being different, right? Just normal. This is how it started with gender, and we had sex. Okay, and usually they were just interchangeable. Okay, then we got no, they are not the same. Cool, but they're connected. So we had a relationship between the two, and they went back and forth. This was when I was in high school, I suppose. It was like this: gender and sex interchangeable. I suppose there was still some sort of relationship. Then you go to. I went to varsity, and it was kind of like, well, yeah, they're related, but this line over here, the relationship, it's just arbitrary. Okay, it's arbitrary, but performance, right? That's where it went, and now it's kind of like they're right together again. Before we had them as interchangeable because they were so similar. But now they're completely separate, yet connected. It's crazy. When we get to the video, you'll understand how it is. Okay, so let's go into sex-based. Let's think about sex-based. This is what Andrew's view of gender essentially is. I can glean from the video, but also yes, it's got me visualizing it. Okay. Sex-based. So this is just where I was at just as I came into varsity, and they were just starting to change it. I'm going to South Africa, so I'll be able to get this book back, but it was my linguistics book was actually it was based on gender. It was gender as a performance. So I'm going to get that book when I get back to South Africa. Anyway, so sex-based. So here with sex-based, sex characteristics led to the development of gender roles and thus gender traits, right? Gendered traits. So let's have more of an understanding of that. We have male, female. Okay, so the male, female is she gets pregnant, she's got a womb, right? Pregnancy carries child, feeds child from her body. Okay, breastfeeding. Okay, she has breasts, right? Let's go. Breasts, ovaries. Okay, breasts and ovaries. They do the thing. Okay, right. Male has penis. Okay, girls have penis. Boy has vagina. Okay, so boy has vagina. I just said the wrong thing. That is beautiful. Clip it. Okay. Anyway, penis. Okay. Penis. The multiple can have multiple partners. Does not. No gestation. Okay. Okay, so if we just went straight down, just to these two things, right? To those basic things, just that, because we were just the female, okay? Okay, pregnancy, child feed, no gestation, right? So we could glean just logically, okay? We could go, okay, well, multiple partners, less risk for him because he doesn't get pregnant, right? And he's not off the sexual market, all of that red pill bullshit that you guys can go and have fun with. You see, as soon as those things come in, it's like, aha, I recognize red pill, run, relax. These are things that were not political previously. They were just the way humans are. Okay, so let's just relax. Listen to the lo-fi in the background. Cool. Can we say cock or schlong? I think schlong is better. Cock's a bit... You know what? I know the Australians are okay with certain words, but penis sounds so tiny. They start saying willy in the video. But anyway, we'll say schlong, okay? I think schlong works. Schlong is, you know, because it's... anyway, so they don't get pregnant, so this is one partner. Multiple partners difficult. Because of length of pregnancy and vulnerability, right? When pregnant, etc. You don't want to do it. Okay, cool, whatever. That's because they are tiny. Yeah, shame. Okay. Listen, I know if yours is small, I know the feeling because I have small chest area. So you see, it's okay. It's fine. Size does matter, but we're okay. We're okay anyway. Okay, so we've got those things, the multiple partners thing. We don't need to go all the way with that. The main thing that comes from the fact that she is breastfeeding, she is the multiple partners stuff is not so much interest of note to me. To me, it's feeding the child and pregnancy. It's about nurturing, right? Nurturing, taking care of the helpless thing of child. Okay, they are less mobile because they have a child in tow. And if you want to act like, oh, you can run around whatever and do all kinds of things when you're pregnant, don't do that. Okay, don't be fighting in battles when you're pregnant. Okay, unlike the way Wheel of Time tries to make you think you can do. Don't do that. Okay. Then men, more mobile, protection of the weaker sex, right? The vulnerable female. Okay, female, literally muscle tone. We get to the point where they got like more muscle tone. Okay, we're soft and squishy. Okay, I'm gonna literally write squishy. This is a scientific paper, boys. Squishy. Okay. Sydney has the best genes. She does. Sydney has the hips. She has all of the secondary sex characteristics that look good. She's a breedable mare. Okay, right. So they're squishy, muscle tone. So from this idea, right, this male and female, all of this, okay, we can summarize: woman soft, man hard. Woman with baby, woman estrogen, yes, testosterone, estrogen. Let's do it there. Squishy. Let's put by squishy we have estrogen. Okay. By muscle tone we have testosterone. Okay. Testosterone gives you a nice bit of aggression. It honestly, I've had friends that have gone on testosterone for PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome, and things like that. They did stupid shit when they were on that. Like, they felt crazy. Okay, so it does. We know this. That's what happens with transition, right? It does that to you. So cool. We have all of these natural. We are sexually dimorphic things. Yes, we have intersex. Okay. okay, and other biological anomalies. Don't act like they're not anomalies, guys. Okay, they're not normal. They're not the way the species would continue. That's it. Okay, it's a mistake. But that's not saying you need to die. Okay, it's just that there are those, but this is the way the species continues. And if we're going in an evolutionary way, that's it. You need males and females. You need males to do certain male things, and you need females to do certain female things. And all of the things that we get, all of let's think of some adjectives that we get from femininity, right? So sex characteristics lead to the development of gender. So this is it, right? I want to go and say we've got female, but when we go into the idea of femininity, what is femininity? Okay, so female traits, femininity. Okay, what? I said squishy, right? Softness. Okay, literally, comparatively weak. Okay, we're weak comparatively. We could be strong compared to each other, but we are definitely weak compared to men. And one of the great things that Andrew says in this very clearly is as soon as he said women are weaker than men, she went, she made like little upset noises, and he said, what, do you want to arm wrestle? Like, let's do it. Okay, so yeah, comparatively weak. Don't come at me with that. Okay, and if we're being just normative here, we're taking an average, right? Okay, we're not thinking of Ronda Rousey and all of this shit. We're talking about just over the span of our developments as humans. This is it. Okay, this is just the generalized thing, because the general is what actually translates through the generations. Okay, the anomalies or whatever. Yeah, they happen, but they don't become the main branch, they call them, of evolution, right? And this is just me riffing here, okay? This is me just using my brain, my common sense for how this all works. XX and XY, duh. We have our, what's the name? XY, so we just go chromosome. Okay, exactly. But all of that has also gone into this penis, no gestation, all of that. That's your chromosomes dealing with it. Okay? I sound like a misogynist. See, the world has changed. Where I'm just trying to say a woman is a woman. Anyway, good day. Hope you're all doing good. Hi, Wampa Stomper. Good to see you. We are all up to just talking about men and women. Okay? And also just another thing to remind everybody of, no being mean. Okay, one of the nice things that this doctor says is we don't like it. We don't need to be mean. So don't be mean about this. We're just talking. Okay. So comparatively weak, we've got the emotional the sensitivity, because we've got the estrogen. Nurturing, communication, that's their preferred way of moving through things, right? Male traits. Okay, male traits, masculinity. Okay, hardness. Okay, don't make the jokes. Hardness. Okay, because men are hardy. Endurance. Okay, comparatively strong. And we're talking physically, okay? Men and women can both be emotionally weak. It's true. Comparatively strong, emotional. I think emotional sensitivity, emotional stoicism, or emotional detachment, let's say, is a masculine trait, as in emotional control. Let's say like that, detachment, control over outbursts. But anger is allowed. Anger is allowed, by the way. Okay. Emotional sensitivity. I suppose anger is allowed. Everything is allowed. All emotions are allowed. Okay. Right, emotional detachment. Anything else here? She said hard. Yeah, that's what happened in my head. How hard is too hard? Too hard is not letting you in. Hey, Frostfang, good to see ya. Okay. Entire dissertations have been defended on nothing but degrees of squish. Abnormalities such as albinos. Yeah, well, albinos will still continue, right? Or they're not like they're things. They're people that are born sterile, aren't they? Okay, hold up. Right. Yeah, the softness. What other things are masculine? When we're talking about manly, okay, there is a way of dress, right? In terms of dressing, we're talking about the way people dress. Okay, we at the moment, I suppose that changed across culture. It was very much a cultural thing, but technically, you as a man, you have an appendage that needs to be put away. Okay, because they have an appendage that needs to be put away. Let's put it over here. Appendage to be put away, otherwise a liability. And don't try and say otherwise, because you get clapped in the balls. You get kicked there. You are down, boy. Okay. Breasts as well. Breasts, yeah, it hurts, whatever. But you could be a little bit limited by your breasts, I suppose. Breasts, unwieldy breasts. Can be a liability too, but not as bad as a penis. No, I do not kick Gordon in the balls, but the way that men take that stuff so seriously, it's not to be joked about. Okay. I have, however, seen Axel jump on Gordon and land in a certain way that has harmed him. So, yeah. And also, you've seen the internet, guys. Anyway, so we need to save Gordon. Okay, so what else? Femininity. If we go with the idea that we get from the, we'll get. Actually, I think this needs to go. This part. This bit actually stays by itself here. In terms of male and female qualities, here. This is how, if I put this together, make that a boundary. Okay, fine. They won't put it together because they do. And it's, there you go. So this is gender over here. Let's actually put that in. Let's just go here. Traits. Okay, just put that there. Sorry, I've just made I've just looked at the way the layout is, and I don't like it that way. Because this is not this over here that we've just discussed is not exclusive to either of these views of gender. We've got just gender over here. Roles, okay? Characteristics. Okay, so what we've got here with sex-based is that we had all of these things. Femaleness, okay, leads to femininity. Okay, being literally having ovaries, all of those kinds of hormones leads to, develops, causes, or caused that, and not a dotted line, but an actual, it caused it, right? Yeah. Okay, that's what according to this view. If we do another one, caused. That's what they have decided. Or what a sex-based idea. I don't think that that's too complicated. Or too crazy to admit. That it works pretty well, right? This is my view. This is the view that I was trying to explain when I was in varsity. I did do a unit in postgrad called Gender in Psychology, and I got into a few. I've spoken about this so many times, but just reviewing it, I got into a few arguments with people in my class, with my teacher. I actually did pretty badly with my lecturer there, because I tried to bring some sense into it, that say gender is sex-based. That's it. I was just trying to say gender is sex-based, and there was a lot of pushback. Gender roles, I could accept that gender roles are performative, and you can live as the opposite gender, the opposite sex. You could live as them performatively, but the fact that those things are there is based on biology. That was like, it was, I did very badly because I couldn't even put it into my essay properly, but that's basically what my thought was in all the seminars, and that was the argument that was often, I was thrown out, essentially. One of the things we actually even got to was with men, okay, the fact that men always turned out to be the leaders, okay, because one of my arguments was, or one of our arguments, because I wasn't the only one, but one of our arguments is, okay, well, men are the stronger ones. They are women are mostly the gatherers, and men are the hunters and gatherers, whatever. All of those roles. That's old stuff that you probably learned with the birds and the bees. But because of that meant that men were in control, and that is why patriarchy developed. Okay, that's just the natural state of things, was that men would be leaders and women would be followers. Women would not have no influence because they are important to men, but it makes sense that men would be in the leadership role. Ooh, end of story. Cannot handle it. So I said, hold on, why don't we then just have, why do we not have matriarchy? Why did matriarchy just not evolve? Where did it, isn't there some place, I'm sure there's some place where like there might be one tribe or something like that. But I was like, show me the major matriarchies. Show me where women, literally, we've only had it in fiction with the Amazonians and all of that stuff, the Amazons, the big woman like that. Why do they have to be big and big and ferocious for them to be the Amazonians? Because they have to be the most powerful person, the most powerful type in their society. Makes sense. But yeah, that was the big oof. But yeah, if we bring it back down to it, female is the weaker sex. Okay? Literally, that means he must open your jaws. Just relax. He can open the jaws. Okay. I don't consider myself the most masculine dude if you go by stereotypes. I'm in tune with my feelings due to past trauma, good. But I do have a hard time opening up unless I trust someone. Well, that's, yeah, there is that you have to trust someone to open up, because also that is not capital. That is not, it's not good for you to do that amongst men. Whereas, yeah, with women, it's a lot easier. But that is supposedly wrong. Okay, I'm not arguing that we can't evolve socially, but I'm also understanding that the basis for this evolution is in our bones, literally in our DNA, and that is something that is just so wrong, especially nowadays. So anyway, that's the sex-based version. It's the old school, and it's considered, the reason we put here anti-woke, it's considered anti-woke because you'll see that this is the other side. The other side of it has been picked up by the woke and made it's been part of the woke movement. Because why? Wokeness is about oppression, oppressor, oppressed, right? We had the male and female. The male and female gives us oppressor, oppressed. So we have the feminism, and men are the tyrants there. Then we go into the whole idea of who is a minority, who is threatened, who will be harmed. Wokeness turns that up to 1,000, where we must take care of the most vulnerable to such an extreme that we actually make more vulnerable people. That's the actual one of the main things that you actually get to with Andrew, is that he's kind of like, yeah, you want to help people, but it seems like you've gone a bit too far. Anyway, we'll get to that. But the performance-based, right? And this is not, let me be clear, this is not stupid. This is not, the way that I'm framing it here is going to be the stupid way, because it's taken it very far. Because this does not deny, okay, the sex-based does not deny that femininity and masculinity are fluid things, that some people have more of it and some people have less than it. But they do understand that it came from the fact that we are sexually dimorphic. It comes from the fact that we're sexually dimorphic. It comes from our brains. It comes from our bodies, okay? So, sure, we can move in between these spectrums and whatever, but eventually, if we trace it all the way back, it is going to come down to breasts and ovaries, XY, XX. It is going to come down to that, okay? Sorry, that's just the way it is. Then the performance-based, let's get into it. Oh, it's just the social construct. We've got that whole idea. It's the fun thing, okay? We did it on, it was The Last Thinkers. I don't know what it was. I think it was money was a social construct or something like, oh no, fines were a social construct in Gartic phone. And yeah, that's why you get out of a fine, because no, it's just a social construct. It's arbitrary, it's fine. That's the whole idea behind the performance based. And you know what? Another thing that I would say just about social constructs, okay, even if there are social constructs, that doesn't make them no longer there. The social construct of law, okay, it's still there. It still has an influence on you. It doesn't just because you can try and say, oh, well, we just agreed on it. Oh, there's a social construct of money. As soon as you just decide that money is a social construct, money doesn't cease to exist. Everybody else is still busy talking about it and using it. So think about that. But anyway, I guess the whole idea is to erode that social construct and replace it with your own. Replace the reality with your own. Anyway. Okay, social conditioning, this whole idea is that these traits, okay, it's just happened. Okay, I don't know, arbitrary, chosen by society. Okay, it's arbitrary, it just happened. Okay, let's actually put this here, chosen by society. We could say arbitrary, or there's also another idea that it serves men. So the reason that it happened, that it happens this way, is because it serves men. The whole idea, gender roles serve men, so that's why. Okay, it happened in reinforcement. So it's somehow weird that men just out of nowhere they came together and saw an advantage, and that created the gender roles. Okay. Yeah, it is arbitrary, which also means, because it's arbitrary, can be changed. If we just decide. If enough of us just decide, then it can be changed, right? The thing is, it's forcibly changed. Well, gender roles work for both sides. Yes, they do. But this is the theory. The theory is that it's mostly reinforced by men. Okay? It's reinforced by men because men get to be in control of women. Okay? Because we're looking at it through a woke lens, or what they would actually call queering. Okay? You look at it through a queer lens. And that is the thing, where you're looking at oppressor versus oppressed. and the oppressor is the normal. And what is normal is oppressive. Okay, because that creates an expectation. Right, social conditioning, it's all of this. I don't know, what else could we add here? What's the difference? This is just explaining all of the sex things. Arbitrary, these can belong to the spectrum of gender traits, you know, of masculinity and femininity. It creates a spectrum of sex. You see what I mean? I'm actually trying to I've got the basis of what I'm trying to get to, but when it comes down to actually trying to make sense of the woke side and draw it, it's troubling. So I think that this is as far as I'm going to get before we go to the video. If there's anything else you guys are thinking of, so let's just have a look. Okay, we had the fact that it's facts, logical, biological basis for gender roles. Okay, and then we've got, and so they've led to it. And when it comes to performance-based, the woke thing, it's a social construct. It just arbitrarily happened this way. We can change it. I think the main point here is that can be changed. Let's write it in capitals. Okay, so we can not only change what is considered masculine and what is considered feminine, we can change what it means, what those sexual characteristics mean. So actually, they go in, what they actually do is they go in and they disrupt this connection over here. This connection means nothing. So let's actually write that here. Social construct, not based, roles are not based on biology, okay? Not based on biology, therefore, okay, this is you know what, I've got it, okay. They're not based on biology, okay, therefore, they can be changed, okay, but then biology is part of the performance, so it can be changed to suit the role. So it still has sex and gender separate. It still keeps them separate, and that is what still keeps them separate, but then just does whatever the fuck it wants with them. Do you have identity on there? Okay, yes, let's do that. That's a good idea. A social construct, gender is it's an identity chosen by society, arbitrary, serves men, social conditioning. I'll put with social conditioning, I'll say identity. It's something you identify as. But I think it's important to also remember that identity is a performance, though. You show your identity through your performance, okay? So shown through. Okay, and when I say it's a performance, it's not that it's not real, okay? So my performance as a female is not that it's not real, okay? Because I am a female, but part of my femaleness, yes, is the way I look. But if I didn't look female, I would have to work on looking female. I would try a little bit harder to look female. Okay, I'd put on more makeup and things like that. Maybe get plastic surgery or something. I don't know if I was upset. But it's not exactly pretending. It's not, because the fact that I have certain hand gestures, that I speak at a certain rate, that my reactions are a certain way, it is a performance, okay, in a feedback loop. So it's a strange thing that I'm trying to explain here. Like, part of why you see me as a female is not because of my genitals. I've never shown them to you and never will. But you can trust me saying I'm a female because you're like, yeah, she presents as a female. It's a presentation as well. Shown through performance, presentation. Okay? It's an identity we present. We are, you are perceived as well. You're also perceived by others. That is another thing. We aren't born in a vacuum. So the fact that I'm perceived as female, I perceive myself as female, is also because the rest of the world does. So we all influence ourselves. It's just all interconnected and insane, and that's why I'm trying to diagram it, but every now and then I'm like losing track of it. But yes, I like the idea of bringing identity into it. Shown through performance presentation. So let's look at that. Clothing, okay? Just the kind of clothing you wear. Literally gait, the way you walk. Okay? Right? Voice. Vocabulary. Not even vocabulary. Voice, speaking manner, just mannerisms. Okay? If you are not female, you would be counterfeiting. Yeah. But there is a thing of passing. There is a thing of living as a female for all intents and purposes, except for the whole sexual part. Okay? That you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. People that don't know Blair White would not know until some other reason. They could go for years without knowing. Okay? That's just the way it is because of the performance that she is doing, right? Mannerisms, what else? Shown through performance presentation. I don't know, sensitivities, strength, attitudes. I don't even know. Interactions. Okay, communication, all of that. Yeah, so that these, okay, are, because of their arbitrary connection, right? Clothing, right? The arbitrary connection to masculinity and femininity. That is sometimes used as a reason. Like, I'll remove this because there'll be too many lines here. But that is often used as it's arbitrary. The relationship between clothing and men and women is just arbitrary. So why do we use it? It develops though. It's a thing that's always developing. And yeah, we've gone through periods where men and women looked very different, and I guess we're getting to the point where they're overlapping. Right now, because of we're in that in-between phase, it looks very strange to see men dressed in dresses. Okay, anyway. What else is there? Hardness, phrasing, lol, suggestive. Phrasing. Oh, you know what we should get? Should get a phrasing sound thing for you. But for a clip for the super chat, thank you for Frostfang for the super chat. I will give you. Do I give you a burp? Would you want a Gordon burp? Or thank you, internet stranger. Okay, thank you, internet stranger. I'm sorry. Or I'll give you both. I do not consent. Whee! Did you guys hear Gordon's burp? The siren is not Gordon's burp, everybody. Some people print very good fake money, yes. And guess what, Q? The transactions still happen. So I think a lot of people are virtue signaling like this, doctor, but in reality, I bet her real life, she expects men to act like men. What do you think, Kita? I think she really does believe what she says. I really do. She does believe men should act like real men, but she knows that women can act like real men. So trans men, which is so guys, another thing that gets in the way of the discussion is the confusion between what is a trans man and what is a trans woman. Okay, people think trans man means a man that is trans, a man that is transitioning. No. A trans man is a woman that transitioned into a man. Okay, and a trans woman is a man who transitioned into a woman. Okay, that's the difference. I'm sure you guys know, but it sometimes just gets pushed all over the place. And I think that she will expect a trans man to act like a man and a trans woman to act like a woman. So she still, as much as she tries to act like, maybe she's virtue signaling in terms of the way she tries to characterize gender roles as archaic, I think she still buys into them because it's part of us. It's part of our DNA. Okay, I think the saddest crime would be counterfeiting $1 bills to use as at a strip club. Yeah, like counterfeit them and use them on something that you actually get something from. We can't have a lot of guns. Where are you? What, in South Africa? Where? You don't mind? We can't have any guns where I'm at. But the point is we don't need them. That's a thing as well. You cannot transition, it's all pretend. Then we're getting to semantics there, Q, because you can transition into a female presenting person, a male presenting person. You will never be an actual man or an actual woman. You will never be that. You are something else. And it seems like, just from the outside, I know that's not really given a lot of credence, but from the outside, it seems like people with the best transgender people understand that there is something different. They're neither a man nor a woman. They're a trans person. They are something else. That doesn't make them less than. It just makes them different. And being different is okay. Remember when being different was okay? You didn't have to be an entire whole considered a woman. Okay, you're just a different classification. Same thing in sports. And I think we can get to that conversation, what I want to get to, and basically the conversation I wanted to have at the end of this. And I'll just preempt it here, just as a note. Or maybe just turn it into a short that will preview our next conversation. I think that having a separate category, viewing it in that middle ground of transition is possible, but it's not actually magically into the other sex, because that is impossible. And there needs to be an understanding that believing that is not hatred. Believing that is just factual. It should not come with hate. It shouldn't. It should just be like, okay, cool. You've become something else. Fine. There's a big discussion to have with who actually should be transitioning and who shouldn't. What should allow you to transition and what shouldn't. And it seems like those standards have gone pretty low. And then in other cases, to remedy that standard going all the way low, people have made standards way high that are just stupid. Pendulum swings all the way freaking back. I was meant to be born as a Dawn kitty and identify as such. Respect that. Yes, I'm a cat, guys. I'm actually going to get Andrew gives the idea of being a cat, so we're looking at you, cat boy. Okay. I feel like they approach it like it's a character in a story and they can hide the character's actual gender and tell the reader what they want. Who's this? They can tell the reader what they want. The reader being the society, the people that perceive them. That's fine. This is parents, kids, doctor. Okay. That doesn't have a gender specified. But I think some people might approach it as just a character, but I think the original basis, which was gender dysphoria, which was mental illness, that is not just a character, it's proper just actual misconfiguration. Okay, so this is basically it. This is basically my whole idea. I'll try and refer back to it. With sex-based versus performance-based. So the whole idea of the performativeness of gender went really far. We started with, we've understood that gender can be a performance, but it is based all the way back on sex. And when it actually comes to sex, then we actually do start looking at whose organs are what organs. It's just the way it is. But with wokeness and with postmodernism, we have to break every social construct all the way down, and we need to build something else in the way. Not even build, but we need to just be able to do whatever we want with it. That's what it seems to have happened, is we started to understand ourselves and examine gender and sex, and then it just, like everything else with politics, it just ran left. Okay, so let's go into the conversation, guys. If you have just joined us, we just did a bit of a discussion about, we diagrammed a little bit how we can view the two views of gender. Okay, Andrew has the one, she has the other. Who's the trans president? I don't know. That would be interesting. I am the president of trans. Okay, let's do this. Restart the whole thing. Okay, we do have some, if we go here, we do have some starters, the cold opens. Okay, so just have a good. They monetize being offended. I think people not monetize it, might be exploits, benefit from. Just if you go and you think about that girl that's basically called herself. She said she had been SA'd by a man because she opened his door to give him his food, and he was naked and asleep. And then that whole story. What's it called? DoorDash girl. That's an idea of victimizing, being offended, being victimized is social currency these days. Right. Say that again. SA'd, as in like assaulted in a sexual way. So she was a DoorDash person, a DoorDash, what do you call it? Delivery person. She went to the residence. Hold on, let's just go here. Okay, so she went to the residence, and she went to the residence. DoorDash girl goes to the residence, and apparently the instructions were leave the food outside the door. Okay, and she said, and the door was apparently a little bit open, but she arrived. Instead of just putting the food down on the floor, she opened the door up and saw this man had fallen asleep on the couch with his pants down, pants as in underpants. So he was exposed, but asleep. Okay, so she decided to take out her phone and record him. And she recorded it and said, wow, this guy, he ordered, and he had the doors wide open. Meantime, she actually opened the door. He ordered, and he did this on purpose. So she reported him. He got banned from DoorDash. She can't use DoorDash anymore. But then she posted this video of the customer, and she said, look, I was assaulted because of this. I was assaulted. This man has assaulted me, and it's crazy or whatever. She then gets fired from DoorDash, or like what do you call it? She gets suspended from DoorDash, and she tries to appeal it. And she's like, what? And she posts again on TikTok, because again, when we are victims, we're going to use social media. Social media is the best place to go, because we'll get a result. It pushes harder than trying to go in a normal complaint. She also did speak to the police as well. She on the day about this guy. Then it comes out no, she's lost it. So she goes and she says, I've been fired. I've lost my job. Oh, it's horrible. Because DoorDash has suspended me for being assaulted. And again, she carries on with this word assault. It is not assault. It is indecent exposure, if anything. But the thing that really screws her up is that she opened the door. Okay? She opened the door. He didn't leave this door wide open there for everybody to see him in his glory. Okay? She opened the door, ignoring the instructions to just leave the food there. She, instead of just leaving the food and closing the door, running, what the hell, getting a bit annoyed with the way things were, she filmed him. And not only did she film him, she posted it online. So what does DoorDash do? They're like, that's against our customer policy. You can't film our customers, okay? That you can't just film our customers and post that. That's an invasion of privacy. It's wrong. You're also breaking and entering because you didn't have permission to. We didn't break in, but you didn't have permission to enter. So she's actually been arrested. She got arrested. He didn't get arrested. She did. Anyway, so the whole point we got into that story is victimhood is social currency these days. That was something she thought she should do. She had the idea that going and just exposing this dude, that was justice. And she also wanted to take on all of the social credit and comfort and support that people who are actually viciously assaulted get. She wanted that victimhood, that label for herself, whereas nobody should want that at all. And yeah, nobody is crying for her. Some people are, but real assault survivors are like, are you for real? So yeah, it's all a setup where he supposedly drop the food and run. Yeah, and report him through the channels. Be like, hey, this guy did. So report it. If he's done it several times, he could be a creep. That sounds like something that actually probably happens. People answering the door naked and stuff. Remember when being a victim was a bad thing? Yeah, it was a bad thing that you don't want it to happen to you. You didn't want to be victimized. Being a victim was a weakness, was letting the person win. All of that. But now it's look at me. So anyway, that's the whole reason I got into that. My chat is mean. Yeah, they can be. But you stay on the other side. Yes, on YouTube. They took be what you want to be, and I just want you to be happy to a bit of an extreme. It's very interesting that they can be mean, but a lot of the time they're making a joke. So don't take them too seriously. All right, let's get back to our diagramming and let us watch the video. Okay. Right, cold open, remember? I just want to put this... Sorry, just need to give it a space. Okay, here we go.
Would you say that a trans woman is a woman?
Well, absolutely.
What is a woman?
How's the audio for you guys?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
Okay, so he does do the question, right? That's the main thing.
This sounds... I'll just be honest with you, because I think you...
Those were all clips of her appearances around it. She had actually been on a panel with Blair White.
You appreciate on.
Oh, okay. It's not working. Yeah, once the okay, the music is on and off. You know what? The music it might be this song, Creamage. It might be this song that does that.
This sounds mental.
Being transgender is most definitely not a mental illness, whereas having anorexia is a mental illness. So
why?
Why
is one a mental illness and not the other?
Well,
okay, so they've obviously cut these pauses. You're like, okay, they cut the pauses to make it really like seem like she's stumped. But there are some really great pauses where she just cannot articulate what's going on, and she goes into that's offensive instead.
It's just so offensive to say that transgender people think there's something wrong with their body because they are mentally ill. It's just
I think it's
incredibly
offensive to say that there's something wrong with their body. What a thing to
But
tell
it's
people.
them.
It's either their body or their mind. Which one?
Yeah, this is another thing, that there is something that, how is she a doctor? She's a GP. She's properly in with it. She understands it. She can hold these two views in. She can hold biology and gender ideology all together. So quite interesting. They really do go over the idea of this mental. Is it a mental illness? You will see that this is a split in the trans community. There are people that will, people like Buck Angel and Blair that will say, yeah, it's a mental illness, and this is how I've treated it, and this is who I want to be, and this is how I live my life, and I'm much happier now. That's it. But then there's other people that find it offensive, and it's a problem to call it a mental illness. We've been spending many years trying to destigmatize mental illness, so that's not a good reason to deny mental illness. We're trying to say mental illness is okay. If anything, we've normalized it to the point that everyone's supposed to have a disorder. So yeah, it's not that, if it should not be offensive to call it a mental illness, okay? And that doesn't mean that you are now erased from existence either. Okay, let's do that.
That hypothetical person you just talked about wasn't born a man.
But you say sex and gender are different. So if
See, this is what made me want to diagram.
we're just talking about sex, they were a boy.
And you're right, it is tricky. And actually,
I don't think it is. That's simple.
well, being gay is not a mental illness.
But you accept
Transgender
that they're two different things, being gay and being trans.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
To
Do
identify-
transgender people exist? Are they real?
See, this is another thing, a rhetorical device of that transgender people exist. Transgender people exist. Nobody is saying they don't. Nobody should be saying that they don't. Okay? People have quibbles on whether it is a good thing or a bad thing, whether this should be treated in a certain way or in one way or another. Should transition be a treatment or not? Okay? That is the disagreement. Nobody should be saying, is my opinion, that they don't exist. Okay? Disputing the way that we should treat an illness, or disputing the way that we should look at a behavior medically, is not erasing the whole person. It makes horrible feelings, I can understand, but that is not what is meant. Okay, we get into it. He gets into it in a good way here.
Can it be?
People who are confused about their sex exist, absolutely. But I could identify as a table.
Well, table's not an identity.
Why not?
That's what made me get very excited when you guys said, do you have identity in your diagram there? Because that is exactly a discussion, right? Gender traits as identities versus sex traits in our bodies. Those are different things.
And she wanted to now start taking some female hormones to transition to her body more like her soul.
This is not really science to them.
Basically, we're saying you can't be born a man, but actually be a woman.
No, of course not.
But
Of course not. That's quite interesting that he ends on no, of course not, with and then heretics, because it is heretical now these days, is what it's trying to happen. It's heretical to even think about or refer to somebody as having been born a male. Like, there you have to say that she uses all the correct words. She uses all the words to try and change your perception of reality. And the thing is, it's just so difficult to view the world that way. It just does not make sense. I'm sorry, she just can't make it. The attack helicopter from 2012, still rings true today. I think, yeah, he would have made the attack helicopter joke if he could have, but he said table instead.
I know it's annoying when creators ask you to subscribe, but since I
Subscribe right now.
started, the channel's grown 10 times faster. If you
Yeah, I need to be the same size as Heretics. So subscribe, guys, and share it with your mom.
don't sub, YouTube probably won't show you the next episode. It's free and takes 2 seconds.
It is free.
Hit subscribe. So
But if you want members only things, join. You can use all kinds of things, all kinds of emotes, and even watch members only videos that come out sometimes.
tell me a little for those who don't know about your background. You're a doctor. You set up Gender GP. What is that, and what led you into that?
Okay, yeah.
So here we are. We're going into their conversation. We're talking about Dr. Helen, right? Where she's at, and she's got something called Gender GP. Getting snubbed. Oh, 1 of 44. Just a quick hello. Hi. Thank you for saying hello. I'm so sorry. Oh, why didn't it show me these emojis? I'm so sorry, 1 of 44. Thank you for coming to say hi. Hope you've had a good day. Agenda GP. It was just her website. Okay. Just transition it to a multi-millionaire. Yes, I identify as an influencer. Okay. Okay. So gender GP. Okay, it's a what do you call it? It's a website that she came up with, where she just helps. She's a qualified activist. So she's an activist, but she also helps people to transition. She tells them about what's involved with transitioning and all of that. But she is a cis female.
So I'm just a woman, a doctor, a mum, and I was a GP in South Wales, just trundling along, bringing up my family, doing what doctors do, saving lives every day. Well, not really, but and then in 2015, a trans woman walked into my surgery and said, "Can you help me?" And I was like, "Well, I quite like helping people, but where's the book? I didn't get taught this at medical school."
Okay, so this was in 2015. Okay, so you're a GP. GP is general practitioner. Same sort of idea we have in South Africa. See you, 1 of 44. Have a good day. Okay, so yeah, GP, it's your primary care physician, maybe Americans would say. You just go to them for your normal everyday ailments and stuff, and then they refer you on to a specialist. They're not going to, maybe they'll be your support, they'll help you help explain things to you when you're going through a major surgery or something, but they're not your surgeon. Okay. They're not specialists. So it makes sense that she wouldn't know about that as well from medical school, because she hasn't specialized in this. Okay. But now this is 2015. Okay. So I suppose 2015 she didn't. First exposure to transgender patient. Okay. And that was 2015. I suppose that reveals something. That reveals a lack of training in the NHS, in all of that, in the year 2015. The transgenderism is not a new thing. That the gender dysphoria was not new in 2015. So the fact that she'd never encountered it, that's a bit of a problem. Never encountered it in her studies, that's a bit of a problem. So what's she gets into here is this person is the reason she went and figured it out. So I will be with her in saying that's shit. She should have been trained up in this. This is a disorder.
And so she wanted to transition. So she was born a man, if you like. She'd lived a man all her life.
She was born a man, if you like. No, that's literally what happened. Okay, yes, you don't come out of the womb as a fully fledged hairy ass man. No, but she was born. We can say she was. I will even use the language because it's fine. It's normal now. She was born male. Yeah, in reality, is a male. Okay, male-bodied, female-minded. Okay, if we want to just think of it that simply. But she's already immediately in her language gone, oh, oof. And we can't. That's a taboo as well. Referring to being born as a man is a problem. So I'm just going to put a note here that she did say, born as a man, if you like. Interesting. Anyway, so this person wants to transition and is asking her for help.
Life. And she wanted to now start taking some female hormones to transition to become more, her body more like her soul, if you like. And I'm like, wow, that's weird.
Okay, just hold on. Body more like soul. Hormones to make her body more like her soul. Okay. Cool. So she's just come to the GP. I don't understand why you go to the GP. She should have maybe referred her to a psychiatrist. They can then go through the whole, there's a rigmarole that you need to go through to really, really make sure that this is not, you have to get differential diagnoses, all of that stuff. It is something that you get a diagnosis for. You don't, this is not just like elective surgery where you're just like, oh, I want bigger boobs. It's not like that.
I've never heard of that before. Never got taught it. Never came across it. And so I said, well, I'll look it up. So basically, I looked it up, and what she would have to do is go down to the gender clinic in London. And now we were in South Wales in the Valleys. She's never been outside the
Okay, so she's referring to the gender clinic. She's referring this patient to the gender clinic.
Valleys, never mind to London, wearing a dress on the train to the gender clinic. And so that was just going to be impossible for her. So I said, well, okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. And so it took me on a journey.
Okay, so this person this person couldn't go to the gender clinic. They were too scared to go to the gender clinic. So she helped. Okay, fine.
Discovery of what it means to be transgender and what it means to go through transitioning medically, surgically, legally, and what have you. And as I was discovering and learning myself, what I realized was that it's not easy. It's not an
I think anyone could tell you that being transgender is not easy. It's not a walk in the park. Okay. any strife that you have, any incongruency in your psyche is going to fuck you up. Okay. Right. So I keep saying okay, and I'm sorry, and I keep saying sorry. So she learned about transitioning through this patient. Okay, I think that's the main thing, the main thing that we'll note from that. We don't have to give her word by word. Okay, cool.
Easy place for transgender people in this world at the moment. And this was 10 years ago, mind. And as I was learning and realizing, I set up a website called Gender GP because it was about gender, and I'm a GP. Thought it was pretty cool. And it just took off. People just started coming to my website. You know,
sorry, she learned from it, then set up the website as a resource. Okay, so she's just like, she said, Gender GP, speak to me about gender. So she specializes or sees a market. No, she just wants to help. She just wants to help people that have questions, which is good. You should have open lines to doctors. You should be able to speak to them. And so she's now given us this idea that, oh, she's figured out it's difficult, and now she wants to help.
When you make a website, you think it's going to be at the bottom of Google and no one's ever going to go there. And like people were coming to my website, and I didn't really expect that. It was just like something I wanted to play with, you know. And before I knew it, people were emailing me saying, well, listen, you're a doctor, I'm transgender, I can't get the help I need in the UK. Can you help me? And I'm like, okay.
Interesting. I can't get the help in the UK. Can you help me? So she helps connect people. Basically, this resource helps connect people with gender affirming care, right? Right, and the discussion of gender affirming care comes along otherwise, but the main meme that comes to mind is if sex and gender are not related, why do we have to change the bodies? Okay, and there is never an answer for this. As Creamage is saying here, she actually never succinctly defines what a man or woman is throughout this. It's all convoluted nonsense with a whole lot of mental gymnastics with a sprinkle of that's offensive. Yes, that is why I wanted to do this discussion, because it actually is quite a stark view of the incongruency in the idea. It's very on display. I know that there must be from the What is a Woman documentary, there are things like that, but because Matt Walsh is Matt Walsh, there was a lot of heated stuff going on, so I don't think it's as clear there. Or maybe it's just over the top. It's intense. This here is a long form example of someone that's kept calm through the discussion and just sails through the cognitive dissonance perfectly fine. And it's something to behold. Sorry, guys, I do need to take an interim break to feed the cats. So we're going to put on the BRB screen. Okay. And you guys are going to listen to some background music. Probably the Axel and Daisy song. Okay.
Axel's on the counter, knocking down my cup. Daisy's on the sofa, she has had enough. He's swatting at her tail, pouncing with a grin. She's plotting all the ways to never let him in.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
You're a whiskered whirlwind, claws on the prowl. She rolls her eyes with a grumpy meow. He steals her treats, and he steals her chair. Follows around with that mischievous stare. She leaps up high, just to get away. He's already planning his next big play.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
You're a whiskered whirlwind, claws on the prowl. She rolls her eyes with a grumpy meow.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
Axel's on the counter, knocking down my cup. Daisy's on the sofa, she has had enough. He's swatting at her tail, pouncing with a grin. She's plotting all the ways to never let him in.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
You're a whiskered whirlwind, claws on the prowl. She rolls her eyes with a grumpy meow. He steals her treats, and he steals her chair. Follows around with that mischievous stare. She leaps up high, just to get away. He's already planning his next big play.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
You're a whiskered whirlwind, claws on the prowl. She rolls her eyes with a grumpy meow.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
Axel's on the counter, knocking down my cup. Daisy's on the sofa, she has had enough. He's swatting at her tail, pouncing with a grin. She's plotting all the ways to never let him in.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
You're a whiskered whirlwind, claws on the prowl. She rolls her eyes with a grumpy meow. He steals her treats, and he steals her chair. Follows around with that mischievous stare. She leaps up high, just to get away. He's already planning his next big play.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
rolls her eyes with a grumpy meow.
Oh, Axel, leave poor Daisy be. She just wants to nap in peace, you see.
Gordon puts up with kid is bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit. Jesus fucking Christ, it's a lot of bullshit. You don't understand how much bullshit he puts up with. Gordon's amazing. Gordon's perfect. Gordon is high tea. Gordon is the best boy. Gordon's amazing. Gordon's perfect. Gordon has high tea. Gordon is the best boy. Oh. Gordon puts up with kid is bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit. Jesus fucking Christ, it's a lot of bullshit. You don't understand how much bullshit he puts up with. Gordon's amazing. Gordon's perfect. Gordon is high tea. Gordon is the best boy. Gordon's amazing.
All right, we're back. Thank you for your patience. Right, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Whoa, are you in traffic, Batty? Oh my goodness. Half a mile in the last hour. You know what? What would we do without internets, okay, and radio in traffic? It's just insane. Hey, good guy, good to see you. Help I need is a slippy word. Most of the trans are suffering from gender dysphoria as a secondary characteristic for some other mental issue like deep depression, which goes away if main problem is treated. Then there's also a few real cases who would genuinely benefit from hormone treatment and or surgery. Unfortunately, we don't have any way to delineate these cases from each other. I'm in agreement with you, good guy. It's very difficult. I wouldn't say there's no way, but it's very difficult to delineate them. And it's very time consuming, and people don't want to, they want it to be quick. They want it to be, I can just walk in and like anyone who wants to just have breast augmentation, a female, if they just want breast augmentation, it should be something they can do. It's just cosmetic. It's cosmetic surgery. So why can't I just do it? Maybe if it's billed that way, that would work. But then again, making it into a cosmetic surgery would also have implications for medical aid, medical insurance. So I don't know if people would be happy with that. Interesting. Yeah, it's a very long process, and it used to be a very strict thing. And I know it takes time, but it's worth it, I suppose. It's worth finding out that somebody is, what kind of treatment somebody should get. So same-sex hormone treatment? What's that? Was that something that was proposed? Can we get a Daisy cameo? She's just eaten. So I can't pick her up. I don't want her to puke, but I'll see if she walks past you, I'll pick her up. Just give her a few minutes to digest. But then again, I could walk there with the wireless camera. But it might mess up we'll do it. Winning measles isn't needed to affirm gender. Oh, it actually is, because we're supposed to be able to do what we want. I have one person who is at work who is a girl going to be a guy and seems to have aggressive outbursts, and wonder if it's due to testosterone injections. Yeah, it's probably got to do with it. It's also got to do with the stress of transitioning. I'm sure it's a big deal. Yeah, I haven't met female to male transgender people. I've only met a male to female. And I was friends with her during her transition as well.
I'll give it a go. And so Gender GP was born. And I just thought it would be a kind of temporary thing because it was around that time that visibility was starting to really increase for trans people. We had some celebrities who were coming out as trans. Visibility was increasing. And I just thought this would be a quick stop.
I actually have a question for chat. And if we ever get into a panel discussion about this, I do have that would be a panel question. When did you figure out, or do you even remember the first time you even heard of the idea of trans people? I don't have this memory of, when I found out they exist or whatever, because it happened so early in my life. It was never a surprise. I don't know. I suppose I had a liberal upbringing, so I don't know. Just was it ever new to you guys? Did you ever go, oh? Was it visible in your life as much, or was there increased visibility, which I think is a yes.
Gap while the world catches up. I didn't realize that like 10 years later we'd be in such a worse position for trans people. So that's kind of how it all started, really.
Okay, so she has said 10 years later. Okay, so this was in 2015. Okay, 10 years later, it's actually worse for transgender people. I'm in agreement, actually. There is definitely a lot more. There's a lot more discourse about it. Nobody was really talking about it before, and there wasn't so much energy and hatred around it. It wasn't supercharged. It was just a thing. Just, oh, okay. People didn't understand it. I think people did not understand it. Definitely still, but yeah, right now I think people have less understanding anyway, but there is extra hate. It's crazy. The first person I was aware of my age was Scarlett on StarCraft competitive scene. Okay. And you just found out, yeah. Yeah, I was I knew of the concept, and then I was friends with someone in my class was transgender, and then also met people online that are transgender, and I didn't know as well the second person. She eventually came out to everybody, and it was like, so big deal. Nobody gives a shit. Like, that's you. And this is a South African, so it was legal. Relax. Yeah, and she's a lovely girl.
That's interesting. And you often, I think what people like about you is that you come on and you'll debate the other side, because a lot of people, at least the image we have of people on the side, the progressive side, let's call it, of this debate, we feel that they won't even have a conversation with us. They say, oh no, you're all Nazis and bigots and transphobes. And it's very rare. I mean, the only other time I've had someone who I could speak with was Peter Tatchell, who was great, and we had this really interesting chat. And so what do you think it is about you that led you to be open to having the conversations that many?
That's a good thing. I'm glad that Andrew said that, and everybody who watched that, even though you're frustrated with this woman, the fact is she's sitting there and she doesn't, yes, she shuts down things with that's offensive, that's terribly offensive, and she does get a bit upset the way that the usual conversation goes, but she's still sitting in that chair and she's still calmly letting him speak. She is not grabbing him and saying, you're leaving in an ambulance or anything like that. She's listening. And I think that that's to be commended, especially in this day and age. So kudos for speaking to the other side. There are some times as well where she's like, I'm not going to be led into that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not. So the point is she's able to speak here and continue the way she's thinking. She lays out her way of thinking. He lays out his way of thinking. She has not, I don't feel like she has betrayed any of the trans community. If the trans community gets upset with her for speaking to this person, I don't think that's right. I think they should be happy that she is there and explaining things to the other side. It's fine. If you're upset about her arguments, come up with better ones then. But I think her arguments are pretty clear, and that is the actual argument that people are trying to make. Clear. Okay. Could you reach out to Andrew to have a convo on stream, or is he a bit too big? Oh, he's way too big. He's way too big. But you know what? Some people just want to shoot their shot. And they've told me that I should just shoot my shot with these things, and just speak to them. I don't know. I think good try. I don't know.
On maybe your side would not.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because I think
If I just took more risks, I suppose I could try.
To be open to having the conversations that many on maybe your side would not.
it's difficult, isn't it? Because I think I wasn't taught about this as a child. I never came across it as a child. I never came across it in school or in university, at medical school. In my junior doctor years, I never came across it. We did a little bit of role play in the early 90s, and there was one of our characters.
You can't win the lottery if you don't buy a ticket. Yeah, thanks, Screamage. It's true. Yeah, even reaching out to Joe or speaking to Joe was like a crazy thing for me. Speaking to Warren Smith, he was a lot smaller before I spoke to him. When I spoke to him, so yeah, it's you know what, I need to just get over myself, and I'm very okay with rejection. So like, fine.
Was a trans person, but it didn't, that was about it really. And I think that's what the world has grown up with. I don't think the world understands gender diversity. And I used to say, why didn't they come out with the gay people? Why? Okay, so we've got this idea. He's given us the kudos of kudos to speaking of the other side, and then she's given us the world doesn't understand gender diversity. She can if someone wins and gives her the money. Give me the money, I'm a female. Okay. World doesn't know. I think we understand that gender diversity. I really think we understand it, but we reject it. So it's like, just because you understand something, how it works, you're like, yeah, but I don't. The way that you're practicing it is objectionable to me. Right. What are you wanting to talk with people about? I would talk to Andrew about religion and just transgender discussion here as well. Wick is always wanting more people on. Wick always hits me up when there is a debate he's going to have, and he says, do you have strong views on this? And a lot of the time, because I don't have huge strong views on things and I can understand both sides, I'm a backup. I can come in later on if he really finds no one else. But yeah, I'm not that exciting to have on a debate panel, because I'll just try and understand the other side, and it's just, but yeah. I don't have strong views. No, not really. Well, you know what? A lot of the questions that he is asking on his channel, I don't have huge arguments to have. I just have opinions. Yeah, we can go over the questions that Wick has given. Wick has said he wants to have a serious religious conversation. Oh, interesting. I would need to prepare for that. Well, I've had several of them. I know where I stand with Christianity. I wouldn't be trying to convince people to believe in God. It's a choice. Anyway, let's go. Or like a serious anything. Like he asks questions. A lot of that would be, say, like, should we? The last one he asked me about was, are the Democrats being too light on crime? And I'm like, well, I can see both sides of why they want rehabilitation, and I understand that. And yeah, but you should be hard on crime. So basically that was it. But because I didn't write a whole paragraph in response, he was like, okay, so you don't have that hard views. I guess I'm not evangelical enough for those debate things, but I'm good for a conversation. Okay. The LGBT guys, why didn't you come out with when the gay people came out?
I see.
Okay, so something she's thinking about here, guys. She said, why didn't you come out with the gay people? Okay. That's something I would ask. I want to see the opinion of Blair White on this. Why is why not come with gay people? I think if they did come out with gay people, and the thing is they were already out, they were already a thing. Okay, they've been a thing for years. It's not a sexuality thing, actually. It's not about sexuality. It was also, I suppose there are similarities in that one was considered a mental illness and no longer is considered a mental illness. They get into that. So yeah, why not come out with the gay people? I think that might have confused people as well. They were not ready. They were not ready for Drag Race, but in Drag Race is not transgenderism, guys. Drag Race is men that are dressing as women for fun. Okay, they're not actual transgender people. Okay, anyway, yeah, I don't think that would have worked. But there also, I think there was just more of an idea of accepting in the West, relax, it's just in the West, accepting that, okay, accepting different sexualities.
70s and 80s, and all of a sudden gay people said, stop, we're not putting up with this anymore, we're here, we're loud, we're proud. I just wish the trans people had done that with them, but they didn't. They stayed a little bit hidden. So
they stayed a little bit hidden. I think when we get to the whole LGBTQ plus whatever distinction, the LGBT, the LGB and the T, they don't want to be with each other anymore when it comes to people that are right wing. So trans people that are right wing who are non-woke, they are like, we're not the gay people, we're something else. Like, we're not with you. We're not here and queer and coming for your kids. That's not what we're about. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what you mean by the whole thing of coming out went really, really far to now we want to make we need to be pervasive. We need to be all the way into society and we need to take over everything. It needs to be all over your TV screens, needs to be all over everything. Yeah. Again, with the whole running, taking the left and just running left. Just running. Hey, Zerafax. Secretly listening the whole time. Well, that's great, guys. Zerafax has made a beautiful video, which we will, if you remind me, we will share it. We will listen to it at the end of the stream. Of Candace Owens. Anyway, let's get into it. Last day of November for my work. Woo! You have all of December off work for vacation. I should just call in. Yeah, why? Yeah, you're not going to get there.
Many of us have grown up not knowing what it actually means. And I think one of the tragic things for me is, when we think about a trans woman, we think about that person over there in the street looking like a man but wearing a dress. And it's been allowed to be mocked and, teased. And
okay, she says when we think, so the perception of transness, which is on par with what Blair White would say, when you hear, you think of a man, okay, across the street. That's what you think. That is not, okay, what people like Buck Angel and and Blair and all of the normal trans people, okay, think of. They don't want you thinking of that. And that is why they're angry with the current LGBTQ plus blah, blah, blah movement, because that is what it's making you think of. That is not actually what it really is. It's not about just a man walking around in a dress, but now we've made it so all about, it's so fluid that we can just have a full beard and wear a dress, then we must be called a woman. That's what's happened. So that is why this social change, this, instead of trans women thinking of, say, a person that just quietly goes and transitions and you wouldn't know, or you might find them a little bit masculine or something like that, somebody who passes, somebody that's just living their life, that's not the idea. The idea now is we think of a man in a dress, and I suppose if you think of a homosexual person, you're thinking of the queer teachers and things like that, instead of just, I don't know, Dave Rubin.
Unkindly treated, and it still is today.
Yeah. Okay, so people mock. Okay, so she's talking about mockery, and that is bad. So let's also put that in there. That's mockery, cruelty. I'm also against that. That's not a good thing.
Just because we just didn't know that the education wasn't there. And when you don't know about something, it makes you scared. And when you're scared about something, you panic and be mean. And it's just about the lack of knowledge and education, I think. And I didn't actually answer your question, but why me? Because I'm passionate about equality. I don't like people being mean to other people. I think people I love human diversity. You know, we were walking down the street this weekend, and you look at everybody. Everybody's different. It's not like you go, oh, that looks like my friend Sarah, or that looks like my friend Jim. Everybody is completely different, and that's human diversity. And just because some people might be a bit different in a different way, that doesn't mean we can be mean to them.
No. What?
Yeah, don't be mean. Don't literally. That's also a very Christian thing. Don't be mean. Okay, love thy neighbor. Okay, mockery is bad. Agreed. And the mockery is because scared of things that are different, unknown and different. So we have the whole idea. This kind of goes back to our initially with the performance-based, what we spoke about here. It's something that's emotional. It's very much about, okay, what is the most who is being harmed in this situation. Okay, so that is, you can see that this is what's underlying her thinking here. I don't like to be mean. That is the initial seeds that wokeness can grow from. It's like you want to protect people that are vulnerable, which is a good sentiment. But then we can go all the way into like authoritarian care for a small for a small percentage of people. I don't apologize for what I just sent you in DMs. Guys, we are 7 minutes in this fucking video.
I would agree with that. I mean, look, you're aware of a bit of my show, or you're not? It's okay if you're not. Do you know? Yeah. So
Sure.
where my stance on it, I'm I would say realist. Maybe you'd say gender critical or transfer. I don't know what you might say. But
let's actually put that here. He says gender. Well, let me put it here for him. Gender critical or gender realism. Okay, he obviously there would also be the label of transphobe. We know that that's how that works. So I'm going to actually put here sex-based. This is the anti-woke, the gender critical, or what did he call it? Sorry, not just gender critical, gender realist. Okay, so that's the kind of thing he's talking about. Sliding into Twitch girls' DMs is tight. Right, George.
But mocking, I don't think, unless in a sort of silly, come on, way that invites them to laugh as well. Maybe I think, but not that kind of like, oh, look at that man in a dress thing.
We don't want meanness.
No,
we can have curiosity and finding out about it, but meanness, I don't get.
So I guess we have to look at where we might disagree, and I guess to do that, I need to understand what your belief is. So when a man can be, forgive me for asking the cliche, which everybody always asks, but a man says he is a woman. What is a woman?
Well.
Okay, so we close this branch here. We've done the Dr. Helen, where she's about what she's about, where the basis, what we've learned from this block here is she doesn't like meanness, and that is the base of her feeling, right? Of where she got these beliefs from, and understood. Now we're going to the what is a woman question.
It's interesting, isn't it? So what is a woman? What is a man? It's one of those kind of cool questions that everybody asks, because it's going to trip me up. It's like, well, what is a woman? Well, it's just a woman. I'm a woman. I was in a clinic in 2015 and I had a young trans boy. So that boy was born a girl, apparently, but actually identified.
Okay. This is weird to me. That boy was born a girl, apparently. Like, she has to soften it with language. This apparently, and this, she has to do the bunny ears to soften what she's saying, because she needs to make it make it wibbly wobbly, wishy washy enough so that it's not harmful. Because if you really do stick on the fact that this person was born a certain way, that's considered, in her circles, that's considered harmful. That's considered like as serious as dead naming. But it is reality, and it is something that needs to be, I don't know, made congruent with the transgender person, that they were born different and now they have changed even further. Okay, that is it. They were born. You can't just. Can you imagine just somebody saying, no, you got to just cut that memory off. You can't have that. You mustn't have that anymore. It never happened. You know, just that memory never happened. We're always talking about regression and getting into re-experiencing our trauma so that we can deal with it and all of that. You can't erase that entire thing. You don't have to harp on it, and you don't have to force somebody to be that thing, but don't completely deny the fact that there was actually a vagina on the baby. Like, come on now. The way that she speaks about it, she goes, apparently, that's why I'm going to put this quote there. Apparently, boy was born a girl. This boy was born a girl. Apparently. But actually identified as a boy. Like, there's this weird trip up of... Hold up. There's no full... No, we do... I want to do a quote. This boy was born a girl, apparently, and that's it. Like, it's just so strange.
As a little boy, and I was learning trans boy.
Look at instead of saying, yeah, she was this person, that you could say this person. Okay, this person was born female, or born female and identified as male. That's the surgical precision you can speak with. But she goes apparently and no.
That boy was born a girl, apparently, but actually identified as a little.
She has to go born a girl. No, she wasn't born a girl. She identified as. So if we're going to put the quotes in the right way, she wasn't born a girl. We just say born a girl and then identified as boy. Okay? Because this is social construct. Okay? This is biology. No hands, no bunny ears, biology.
Boy, and I was learning. So I was learning as I went along, and I said to this little boy, and he was 11, and I said, what I need to know is, though, what makes you a boy? What is it that you think that makes you a boy and not a girl? And he struggled to explain it, because how do you explain it? It's like, I just am, or I feel it. All those words don't count. And
all those words don't count. I just am feeling. Again, we're going into this is why people go, we're in a post-feminism world. We're in a feminist based world now, because all our rules are because women got the vote now, all our society is structured around feelings because of women. So here we go. There it is. It's a feeling.
Like, yeah, but I need to know, because I need to understand this. And then he went, Dr. Webberley, what makes you a woman? And I'm like, well, I just know. And it's not because I...
Okay, so she was asked, what makes you a woman? And her response was, I don't know, I just am, I just feel it. Her response as a doctor was, I just know. Ma'am, you're a doctor. You know why you're a girl. Okay. So, no, her answer apparently was, I don't know, I just know. So she had the same answer as him. So that blew her mind, okay? She had the same answer as him because they both just felt it. To be fair, we can expand a word to have multiple definitions. We do. And the thing is, though, what they're doing here is they're changing the definition completely, and they are trying to erase a previous definition. Okay? Yeah.
Down there, or whatever is at top or bottom, that's not what makes me a woman. I'm just a woman. And so people will say, oh, well, it's your chromosomes, it's your genitals, it's your reproductive system. But that doesn't make somebody a woman.
Okay, so she is saying all of these, all of this stuff that we spoke about here, penis, gestation, all of that doesn't make you a woman. Okay, so woman, I suppose woman might be, you could talk about female. So maybe if we're talking about the definitions of words, maybe we want to stick with female to mean when we're talking about sex, whereas woman is more of the soft bits, the femininity, the whatever, the performance. So woman could be the performance, whereas female is the sex. We could try and do that. Okay. So she is saying, instead of woman, she's saying being female doesn't make you a woman. Okay. Essentially, being female doesn't make you a woman. That's what I'm hearing here. Just am feeling, let's just put this as well. It goes, having female doesn't make you a woman. Okay. Right. Cool. So she's saying that's it. It doesn't make you a woman. So we can at least say from this point here, okay, we can at least say from this point that that part of her definition is not about the parts. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the biology. So here, she hasn't given us a definition yet, but it's not does not include. Okay, so her definition doesn't include, we can say that. She doesn't give us a straight answer really, but we can from this say her definition is not about biology. Okay, it doesn't include it. So let's go.
Different. And I know that's difficult to understand but that doesn't make somebody a woman. They're different. And I know that's difficult to
They're different. So womanhood and femaleness is different. Cool.
understand because the majority of people who have a womb as a reproductive system, if you like, identify as women. And that's what we're kind of conditioned to see and think.
Okay, we have this word, the wording here. We've got woman. It's difficult to understand because most people who identify as women, okay, this is she's moving everything around. You see the way that this arrow goes. Okay, we've got female, leading, causing, okay, female traits. Let's actually say woman here. Okay, and man. So just to for ourselves, we've in this discussion among us, we've decided man and woman are the soft, squishy trait things. Okay, the behaviors, the presentation. Okay. And female and male are the sex bits, okay? Right? She has said now, could you see the way my arrow went? I said that in my conceptualization and most of the old school conceptualization of gender was it's based on the sex characteristics that then evolved into feminine, masculine, and feminine traits that then gave us the whole idea of what is a woman, right? She has now said that this arrow, fuck this arrow. Okay. It goes the other way around. Okay. Or you know what? It's not even there. They're connected, but there's no direction or whatever. It's that one does not cause the other. She's fucked with this. Okay. She said, this is all by itself. She's just said that. Okay. It's through this. It's difficult for because most people who identify as women have those things, have biological, have wombs, right? So it's just a coincidence. This goes back to that whole, also that arbitrary thing, right? That connection is arbitrary, okay? The fact that woman exists as a collective, an idea, that is just arbitrary. This connection, yeah, it exists in statistics, but it did not cause it. I know that I've known this, but just being able to see visually the line that she just said, no, you know what? No, sorry. It's actually just, it's all by itself. So now I'm understanding this how I can visually say this. Here, I suppose we could go, let's put I know it's a lot, but we would say male does not cause. Okay, does not cause. And let's take out the arrow. Okay, it's no arrow. Okay, it's just, it does not cause it. And let's put this as red. Okay, does not cause man. Okay, I'll say does not cause, just arbitrary correlation. Social correlation. Okay, so they don't deny that there is a social reason for this, and we're just conditioned. She also says conditioned to think of it that way. That's why it's so difficult, everybody. It's so difficult. Okay, so let us put the same thing over here. Does not cause. Okay, and we make that red. And you are red. I know it looks ugly right now, but it actually makes sense. Okay, let's see if I can just, I'll delete these bits. Okay, because we've already made the connection here. Okay, for them, performance based talks about does not cause, arbitrary social. So that's what she's just done with that sentence, which is why I love diagramming, guys. I like being able to go, hey, this is what she did. Okay, so the arbitrary correlation. Okay, we've been conditioned, and therefore changeable. Okay, so this is all malleable. We can just move around with it. Hey, Zaxi.
So it's difficult to try and unpick that, but it's true.
It's difficult to unpick that. Just to unpick it, yeah. So it's difficult to make sense of it, but it's true. Okay, so it's difficult, but it's true. Okay, but having this is true. This is the truth that she is telling us. Okay, she is enlightening us that this is what it is. And you know what? If you say it's true long enough, somebody's going to believe you. Okay, and if enough people are benefiting from it, if enough people understand it, like it, it's going to become true. And for many, it is true. You know, like they say, oh, the history is written by the victors. Truth is determined by the victors. So if they are what's the name, the winners in the culture war, this is what will be true.
What it sounds like to me, forgive me if I'm getting this wrong.
Sure.
I'm trying to work it out. It sounds like you're saying there are really lots of things that make someone a woman, lots of things that make someone a man, and these are societal to an extent. Some of it's biological, some of it's societal inventions and things like that. That's maybe the Judith Butler argument, right? And
sure.
If that's the case, would it not be easy to use different language and just say, hang on, well, this is a guy who acts stereotypically in an effeminate manner? Would that not just be clearer? Ever been in a meeting or call?
Okay, so we're here for an ad, but one of the things that he talks about, and it's a separate chapter part of this, he goes, can't we just we use different language? Which would be, he is an effeminate man. Okay. For me, my answer, actually, my approach would be, like I said, that somebody who is trans is a different kind of person. It's a different class of person, a different build. Okay, if we want to use gaming terms, right? That's what they are. We can just say you are a trans man, you are a trans woman. That's what you are. Oh, you know, then there's people like, okay, we can have trans. Why don't we have trans leagues in school, in sports? Do that, right? And yes, I'm advocating for this in the West, guys. Just a reminder, advocating for it in the West. Other places have different truths.
Where you're trying to listen, but your brain's just busy writing everything down.
Okay, so this, by the way, I did want to have a little bit of a discussion about this.
That's over.
Ad.
That's why I partnered with Claude.
Okay, Claude is an AI Okay, go and look at this if you want. It's an AI clip or whatever that can listen into your meetings and do your note taking. And I'm just like, okay, this is what's going to happen. We're just going to start having AIs communicating with AIs, because nobody's going to be doing the human stuff that they usually do.
This is the Claude Note, basically the world's smartest meeting secretary, slim enough to hide in your wallet. It can capture, transcribes, and summarizes every conversation or meeting so you can stay present and never miss a word. And if you
never miss a word, stay present, cool. It then creates tasks and everything. It's your assistant, guys. This is going to make us so stupid, because we are no longer doing those little tasks at the bottom. We're just leaving them off there, and we're going to start forgetting how to do those things like note taking, etc.
want to go hands-free, there's Note Pin, a wearable version you just clip on and tap to start. It doesn't just transcribe, it understands. Powered by GPT-4o and Claude AI, it instantly turns hours of talk into structured notes, key decisions, action points, insights, even recognizes different voices automatically.
So basically, I could put my Claude thing and let it listen to the video audio, right? This video's audio, and make a mind map for me. But would I be able to go through it and think about, move things around and have a conversation all the way through? No, I wouldn't.
And it doesn't just take note, it finds answers across all of your content, builds action items for your whole team, and can even brainstorm and get tasks done for you. Whether you're a manager, lawyer, or anyone who
Enjoy.
wants to improve, which is built for real work, no battery anxiety, no app crashes, now faster. Grab yours with the link below before they're gone.
But if you ask that person, I mean, we might find that easier to explain. So, you know, we go, okay, we're settled. We won't call him a woman. We'll call him a guy that's effeminate. And that guy who's effeminate will be like, oh, thanks for that. Actually, I'm a woman. So,
So we can't use different language because that is prescriptive, okay? The actual guy in this scenario would prefer okay. They want to be, that's the whole point of transitioning. It's living as the opposite sex. It's presenting as the opposite sex. It is not being it's not being something different. That's how socially it should happen. So calling someone an effeminate man I think that's not a good enough thing. Saying that person is a trans, yes, I am talking about trans stuff. I just we got into an advert about AI but in the video, so I spoke about it. Illegal where I live, no recording of people without permission. Yeah, I suppose you can then just say, listen guys, I've got this, I'm recording. That's the thing. We just went over, he just had a sponsorship in his thing, Wampa Stomper. Okay, so the guy in this scenario would be preferred to be called a woman. Yeah, so that's the problem, right? This is now when we get to the whole idea of everybody has rights, and for one right infringes on another person, and whose offense should we care about more in which situation? Hey, Davina.
right. So it's like, whose label are we making it for? Is it for our comfort or the comfort of the person who is gender diverse?
I guess this argument about the comfort
Yeah, so the comfort, yeah.
for the person. So I see that what you were saying, but it was a time when there wasn't enough information about gender issues, which are real issues.
Just hold on. I just want to put you at their comfort matters. Yeah, and in terms of the effort that it takes, like, does it really upset you to just be able to use somebody's pronouns? Does it really, is it really, look, forcing somebody to use them by law, that's bullshit, okay? But just being nice is not difficult, okay? Go along to get along. That's what you should be doing. So, yeah, just if the person, their comfort does matter and it is pretty easy, that's fine. I'm good with that. But now we're in terms of pronouns, okay? You're going from pronouns to transing the kids to to jumping into women's sports, all of that stuff. That's a different issue altogether. I am okay with using somebody's preferred pronouns. It's just normal, it's just nice. It's like using somebody saying, hey, my name, I prefer to be called blah blah blah. Okay, fine, cool, I'll call you blah blah blah.
issues that we face. Even we might disagree what they actually are and what the root cause is, but it's a real issue and it's a real struggle for the people going through those things. And you were then in a position where you were able to help, and that must have given you a fantastic feeling. And we like to help, but you're also, I'm sure you implement this in your life, familiar with the concept of sometimes being cruel to be kind, for example, right? Somebody comes in and says, who's anorexic, and they say, I'm so skinny. You go, sorry, they say, I'm so fat, and you go, no, you're not.
What? Candace pulled her show this week because she's getting death threats? She's always getting death threats. Watch now, she's got extra ones. Did she get someone else to do the show? And why would she pull the show? Because she's getting death threats. Like, you can do it from anywhere. Okay. Like you're not going to an event. Like, I can understand her not going to a rally or something like that because of death threats. It is ma'am. Yep. It is ma'am. But yeah, I suppose there in that situation, it's just so much easier to call her ma'am. Just fine. Yes, ma'am. Fine. And also on the other side, the person should have a bit of grace and understand that, okay, I guess I'm not passing in this situation. Sorry. So everybody should just try and get out of each other's way in that situation. So if somebody messed up by calling you sir, you say, you correct them, and they should hopefully use the word that you've said. They can talk shit about you once you leave the store. Fine. But just in the interaction, please. Just do it. Wait, we spoken about the guy who won World's Strongest Woman? No. He's not a guy, Lemons. Okay. So their comfort matters. I'm in agreement, but I think everybody can go along to get along. Okay. Candace deleted a tweet because someone demanded evidence. She usually has evidence. So they literally are a man, and they're one man's strongest woman, world's strongest. All right. Well, I guess we'll talk about it. I don't think they get to that. There is a part where there is a part in this video that we're watching here, Lemons, that he says men are stronger than women, and she gets a bit uppity about it, and he goes, "Do you want to arm wrestle?" What's up, Dober Dad? Okay, so here we go.
Because if I, in the moment I want to help, it's a lovely thing. I want to help you and just agree with you, but in so doing, we're not necessarily helping. Because I'm hearing from you a lot of.
Okay, so he's now brought up this example of the anorexic person says they're fat. Do you disagree? Because it's not helpful to agree. Okay, but I can just argue it's helpful to agree with someone else, especially just socially around you. Okay, do you all have kids? I don't know. Zaxi has kids. I don't know about Batty. Frostfang, I don't know who has kids in the chat, but I definitely do not. Okay. Anorexic person says they're fat and you disagree because it's not helpful to agree. I can understand that. Tell them they also have bad teeth. What? Who? Oh, the English? Anyway, says they're fat and you disagree, but it's not helpful to agree. It just in social with a stranger, just be nice. Like, sure. Anyway,
comfort. I want to give them comfort and make them feel better. And I'm not sure. Sometimes don't we have to just be honest with people and say, "I'm sorry. Well, I know you want to feel like a woman, but you are actually just an effeminate man."
Okay, so fine. In that case, if you want to say, "I'm sorry," you want to say, "I'm sorry. You're just an effeminate man." That's fine, and then that person can just walk away and live their lives. Okay, they can find people that agree with them and that want to affirm them. But you don't need to now actively go and run after that person and get into there. See, when with offense, right? Offense. When we disagree with each other, we need to just get the fuck away from each other. Okay? We can go and live over here and do our thing here, and live and over here, do our thing there. Yes, I'm talking about segregation. No, I'm not talking about segregation. I'm just talking about fine. Don't actively go and persecute people that are different to you. Okay? Stay away from them. If they are not actively coming and persecuting you, you don't actively come and persecute them. There is no reason for us to be in conflict. So anyway, I don't know if you meet Blair White now, you must sit and have a huge argument. Okay, so what's it? Sorry, but you're an effeminate man. It comes from care. That's essentially what he's also trying to say, is that he doesn't want to feed the mental illness. Okay.
Boils back to, I mean, we could come back to that anorexia thing if you like, because it's something that people bring up and it's interesting. But it comes back to, do we believe that gender incongruence exists or not? So that's the fundamental question.
Okay, so now we've gone from, do we believe that gender incongruence doesn't exist or not? So does gender dysphoria exist? Do we believe it? I think we can all agree that it exists. Okay, so but she's now taken it here. Okay, gender incongruence exists. Oh, does gender incongruence? Oh, she's asserting that. Okay, fine. And I think that's just a talking point. It's like I said, it's a rhetorical rhetorical way of going through this, where there is the trans-erasure discussion, and it's a genocide and all of this stuff that people are trying to put onto this word existence. It's like, if you are trying to say you're an effeminate man, that now erases the whole thing of gender incongruence. That's not what he means by sorry, but you're an effeminate man. He means sorry, you're confused. Okay.
Is it possible that somebody was, and to use the kind of correct language, assigned male at birth, but
to use the correct language, assigned male? That pisses me off no end. Assigned male. You know who assigned me female? God. Okay? Right? Female, as in female, my parts, the way I was born. You know who assigned somebody intersex? Okay? They should make that actually a thing that you are able to, because apparently there is a lot of the time with intersex people, and what has happened is they can only choose male and female, and they don't know that that the child is intersex, or they do, but they have to choose. So that parents at that point literally go, are we going to raise this child as a woman, a girl, or a boy? And then they check that box. Maybe we should need an intersex box. Anyway, so we've got gender incongruence exists, and then she goes, correct language, assigned. Assigned what kind of male at birth? No. You weren't assigned. So you see how language is so, you use language to subvert idea. I know that it's duh, of course, but just these things that you would think, okay, fine, it's just rewording, it's fine. No, they are reframing. They're trying to reframe reality through the changing of language. The fact that they go assigned male at birth, they're trying to perpetuate the idea that there was nothing there before. It is now assigned. It is an arbitrary. They're trying to perpetuate this idea that it was just, there was no evidence involved or whatever. They're completely taking away the whole idea of being identified by your genitals, because your brain has not even evolved. It has not even developed yet. Your skull has not fused yet. Okay, so we are defining you by your biology. I'm sorry, that's it. Wow. Okay, so anyway, she uses her correct language. Yes, it is 1984, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's like, yeah, so this is exactly what we need to do. We need to use wrong speak and we need to get rid of the wrong think so we can use new speak.
Actually identifies as female. So do we believe that or not? And I think that's the struggle at the moment.
What identified?
Do we believe that? Do we believe that a person can be assigned male, I will use it here, assigned male at birth and be a female. I believe that somebody can be confused about their identity. Yes. So we were in agreement.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah. So
I
do
identify
transgender people exist? Are they real? Can it be?
people who are
Like, that is a silly question. Like, I think, again, it's a marketing thing of, I exist, whatever. Nobody's saying you don't exist, man. But you know what has happened, which is unfortunate, because that was like a marketing sort of thing, and maybe it was in some cases an actual tag that was used in campaigns and things. But what has happened now is people that are against the trans ideology as an ideology, not as a mental illness, anything, just the ideology that all of this wishy-washy gender stuff, all of that, if you're against that, you will start actually saying the word transgender people don't exist. So you will start using the words that they have brought into the conversation. So you start using their the weapons they have said that you're using, you pick them up. You go, yeah, okay, yeah, I actually agree, you don't exist. But that's not true. It's silly for us to bring into question whether such people exist, because they literally, actually, in reality, exist. And I don't think that is a question. But we all start using wishy-washy language, and it's 1984, and I'm tired. Okay, so correct language, assigned male at birth. So I am blown away by the, do they exist? Like, come on now. This is not a question.
in my opinion, confused about their sex exist. Absolutely. But I could identify as a table.
Well,
So existing and identifying they are different things. They do exist. Confused people exist, but I can identify. Okay, so he brings up this identify as a table. Maybe it's not the best time to bring it up, but I think the main point we could have gotten into, okay, is that we're not denying the existence of individuals that are in pain, that are suffering. Okay, you need to in this kind of conversation with this kind of person, you need to acknowledge that, but they don't even take it from you. They don't believe that you really care about trans people. They don't. They think that you are trying to destroy them. So even saying they exist and I'm sorry for them and it's a horrible thing and it's difficult, whatever, I just disagree with how we should treat them. No, that's completely out the window. It's not good enough. You have to just toe the line. So confused people exist, but I can identify as a table. I don't think that helps us in the conversation.
table's not an identity.
Why not?
Table's
Okay, that does help us. Table is not an identity. Okay, and that is lovely. Okay, because we have the idea of woman is an identity. Okay, what if we started to develop table as an identity? Which is kind of what's going on with the neo-genders. Okay, so the explosion of different kinds of genders that has happened online, where people their pronouns are fox self, and all of that stuff, right? Or fae self, all of those things. And there are millions and millions and millions of genders, because every identity is a gender now. So we could technically, as he says, couldn't we have table as an identity? And if we had enough people that identified as tables, could we get the same response? So what would the table identification people be? They would identify as a table because they like keeping silent. They are moved. Let's just do the intellectual exercise. They are moved about by other people. They are sturdy. They carry things very well, as in, like, they can hold stuff, like as close as we can get. Yeah. They can be round, they can be square, they all look, there's a certain geometry about them that maybe they identify with. But we could turn it into an identity, because identity is so fluid and identity is a performance. So yeah, this idea of brings us back to this over here. Here, woke, emotional, it's all about identity, right? This thing over here, we thank you for chat for bringing that in, identity. It's shown through performance, presentation, all of that, okay, is the social thing, which is completely removed from male, female. So she's like, oh, table's not an identity. Actually, we could make it because of the social conditioning thing. We could absolutely just create it without biology. Tables aren't very sexual. Well, okay, so that's a good thing. That would be another part of their identity. They're not interested in sex. Okay, they don't like it. Okay, they're not soft people either. Okay,
It's an inanimate object. It's
I could
not
identify as black.
this, I'm sorry, I wish they went further into it. He says, I could identify as black. So she goes, it's not an identity, it's an inanimate object. Okay, I want to go into the example. They don't. Okay, so I'll let them finish this discussion, go to the next thing, but I want to make a little mini diagram about this, right? I could identify as black. Okay. Right. He puts that there, and her response is,
Well, you can't. Black is a color. It's not.
you can't. Black is a color. Okay, this is her example. You can't, because black is a color. Okay, black is a race. It's an identity. It's a marker of your birth.
It's an identity. It's a color.
But I might have some black ancestry.
You may do, yeah, but you're not.
Right.
He might have some black and
You're white skin. So,
But sex is also not.
but you're white skinned. Okay, so if he tattooed himself all the way black, could he identify as black? But also, she's now just said you're white skinned. Another thing. Can't be black. Black is a color, but you're white skinned. Black interest and black ancestry. So he goes that. White skin. So her response is that your skin is white, right? She said your skin is white. Let's do it again.
An identity. But I might have some black ancestry.
you may do, yeah, but you're not. You're
Right.
you're white skin. So,
But sex is also.
You're white skinned. She says you're white skinned. So when somebody says to a transgender person, but you were born male, so a trans woman, okay, and they say, but you were born male, that's the same thing within reason, saying you have white skin. You were born with white skin. Why then should we not apply the same thing to race? I'm not understanding anything other than because of sensitivity is the reason. That's it. What about the albinos? What about them? What are they? Could you identify as albino? You just get some red contact lenses, dye your hair, and you could identify as an albino. Okay, so I could identify as black. Can't, because it's a color. But then he's like, oh, she tried to just say it's a color, and then he's like, he brings it back to race by saying black ancestry, and then she just goes, no, white skin. So, right, let's just see what else her response is. Okay.
So not an identity. It's a.
no,
a-
sex isn't.
it's a-
Sex is
But sex is also not an identity. So he says sex is not an identity.
sex is biological, chromosomal.
So again, I feel like we.
Okay, so so he goes sex. Let's just put this here. I could identify as black, and then he's just got sex is not an identity. So she goes, yes, it's biological, it's chromosomal. Okay, so right, let's take this as a little snippet that I really wish they took further. I'm sure many people have done this comparison, and they've said that I'm transracial, and they try to show that, okay, they try to use that as an example to show the ad absurdum of the whole thing. This is what you're actually saying to us. Do you see how ridiculous it is? Okay, so sex is not an identity. So yes, we don't have sex as an identity. It's biological. It's chromosomal. So let's talk about. We've got the two different kinds of things. Okay, we've got here race. Okay, wait. Race. Did I have race? Yeah, and sex. Right. Okay. Let's see the characteristics of race. Race it's biological because it's literally melanin, melanin levels, right? Okay. Also facial structure. Let's just go biological like this. It results in, okay, it's your heritage. It results in, so we got, sorry. We have got melanin. Okay, we have got facial structure. Some people will go on and try and add everything else about a person, including IQ. Not a fuck, okay? Even, I suppose, muscle tone, I don't know. What else? Muscle tone, you could say genetic predispositions. So that's like the sickle cell anemia, all of that stuff that is, say, more prominent in Black people. There's also the allergy that Asian people have to alcohol. When they drink, they go red. It's part of their biology. Okay, they're part of their race. It's not a cultural thing that they go red. Okay, cool. But then there is also with race. Okay, there is the the identity. So biology, let's say biological, and then identity. There actually is an identity, okay, with race. That it's based on your culture, history, behavior. Okay. So culture would be the things that you do, the way you dress, the way you speak, all of that, right? This is all your identity. This is your performance. Let's say that, right? Identity, performance. Okay. Now let's look at that with sex. Okay, so yeah, it's biological basis. There are some things that what's the name? There are some times apparently where just genetic predisposition makes a woman supposedly shit out a baby that is not the same racial profile as their husband and all of that stuff, and that's apparently a thing. Just underlying genes can just activate, so it's about genes activating as well, so genetic as well. Just put melanin level genetic. Okay, genes, right? So with sex, biological. Okay, XY chromosomes. Let's go chromosomes. She's herself has said chromosomes. Okay, facial structure. Literally chromosomes, and I suppose with the chromosomes, if we move it chromosomes, that also leads to your gametes, your gonads, all of that stuff. You're going to get sexual organs, reproductive organs. Okay, facial structure, things like voice, facial hair, that all of those secondary characteristics, right? So you're going to have reproductive organs, secondary sex characteristics, all biological. We've gone over it, right? Then we've got identity, performance, right? That condition is called divorce. What condition? Identity, it's also behavior, right? Culture. So in your culture, what does a woman do? So in my culture, a woman is fiery, but she cultural norm. She's fiery, but she also listens to her husband because her husband is equally as fiery as she. So cultural norms. Okay, so mannerisms, even language, emotional way. The condition where your baby is a different color. That's the condition is called divorce. Truly, you identify as behavior. Just or you like Madonna. You just behavior. Cool. Okay. So mannerisms. Yeah, which includes its mannerisms. I'd say behavior mannerisms. And yes, the appearance. Okay, so I suppose behavior, cultural, so this will result in your appearance. Your biology results in your appearance, right? Let's do a summary here. Results in appearance. Okay, behavior, alteration of is also part of it, right? So you could wear a grill or something if you're supposed to be a gangster or something like that. But yeah, you also get your appearance from your biology here. Okay. Okay, and your appearance as well is influenced with your identity. You use your identity. Okay. You use your identity to inform the way you present yourself. So you could dress hood, okay, and identify as black, technically. Now, when a man, say, puts on a dress and some makeup, but doesn't shave their face, doesn't just put any, essentially does not put any effort into being and appearing as a woman, does not behave as a woman, the guy that says, "It is ma'am," okay, and like yells at people, okay, that's a very male behavior. The aggression is very male. It's giving male, okay? That person is similar and as offensive to people, to people like, say, J.K. Rowling, as offensive to a woman as somebody playing the race of someone else. Okay? Why are these comparisons? Why is this not allowed? Why can't I be transracial? Why can't we start developing melanation? Okay, why can't we start developing genetic things, genetic treatments to make me feel like I can be a black person? Actually, you know what? I would want to be interracial. Okay, I want to be something that South Africans call colored, because that is a beautiful thing to be. Okay, can't I do that? Why can't I do it? And if I get a good enough tan and I present as it and I speak with a colored accent, because there's an accent that you would have in South Africa that makes you this, and there's a whole culture that you would have. If I just went and I lived as a colored person, why is that not allowed? Based on this, it would really make me upset. But you know why? It's because it would make way more people in the racial group upset than with sex. It's because of sensitivity. That's the only difference between these two examples. With enough tattoos, you could do something. Yeah, it's true.
Agree then. So sex is different to gender then. I mean, I would just say we don't need either word.
We don't need either word. Okay.
But if people want to say, okay, this is how this person feels, and we're going to start using the word gender for that, because my understanding was we started using the word gender because people felt a bit funny about saying the word sex. They don't like saying this. They use gender, so it's just a synonym for sex. Yeah. But okay, I'm willing to sort of go, let's use gender as someone's personality or their identity. That's how it's a totally different thing. Yeah. Why are we then changing their physical anatomy, which is their sex? Why are we performing operations that are long-lasting and potentially very damaging if it's just their identity and their gender?
Well, it's.
I'm a colored person, but I look white. You look. What do you white passing? You see, you're white passing, peepers. We even have concepts of passing when it comes to race.
Performing operations that are long-lasting and potentially very damaging if it's just their identity and their gender. Well, why are we performing operations that are long-lasting and potentially very damaging if it's just their identity and their gender? Well, it's
okay. So he's asking, why are we doing these long-lasting effects? So just hold on. Are we there? Okay, we haven't been to transgender. So it's why not why make huge changes if it's just an identity? That's the main sign that you get. If sex and gender are not the same, why are you changing your body to match it? Okay, so there.
Do we use those words like long-lasting and potentially damaging? Because that's our perception. Because I'm presuming, I don't know, I've never asked you, but I presume you and I would never want to have our genitals changed. I don't, personally. And so it's easy for us to look on the outside and say, oh my goodness, that's very long-lasting and potentially very damaging. But the person...
Sorry, long-lasting. That's what he's saying. They're long-lasting and potentially damaging. That's the reason that most people are quite scared of the whole gender affirming care idea. It's long lasting. I think the whole point that they do it is because it's long lasting. It's supposed to be, this is a lifelong condition that you're going to have, and this helps you deal with it, right? For where I stand, it's over diagnosed and over prescribed. The illness is overdiagnosed and the treatment is overprescribed. That's where we're at, in my opinion. But everything, like today, one of the tweets that went out, it was like, I replied to someone, I was just like, there is just all or nothing in politics. You have to be all or nothing for any sort of, whatever situation you're in, whatever opinion you're going to have, that you have to go all the way or nothing. So anyway, she's saying potentially damaging. She's saying, well, we think it's damaging, but for the patient or the person, so she would never say patient, the person, it's a good thing. It helps them. Okay, and then obviously there will be the discussion about statistics at some point.
Who's asking to have that done doesn't see it like that at all. They're like, oh my goodness, please let this be long lasting, and not damaging at all, life saving. Because and I'm on this camp. If I had a willy, am I allowed to say that in here?
Willie, yes.
I love that. Sorry, just the English thing of willy. It's a silly word.
If I had a willy, I would absolutely hate it, and I would be like, it would be like having 6 fingers. Or
Would you do it?
Okay, so it's a good thing, and it's life-saving. Okay, this is another thing that's part of the conversation. It is how you. This is a narrative that is manipulating parents into thinking I either have a trans child or I have a dead child, so I have to let them do what they want. Okay, angry white people turn red. Yeah. Okay, so for the person, it's a good thing, life-saving. So she is now saying it would be distressing, right? It's distressing to have a part that doesn't. So if you woke up one day, suddenly this is what it is. She's trying to explain to you what it's like to have gender dysphoria, where she's saying, well, it's like you or me would wake up with a part that we didn't have, like an extra finger or something, and we would want that gone.
For the day, if like a hypothetical sci-fi experiment. Like
have a willy for the day.
Yeah, that you can be a man for the day.
Well, I often say to my husband, like, if I had a willy, I'd play with it all day too, because that's what I see men do. But I would hate to have a willy. I would really hate it. And the other things,
I would hate to have a willy too.
Dangly things.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And
there's other dangly things. No, thank you. I'm with you, Helen.
I think that's what most women feel. And so if we understand that women, and if the gender identity, not the biological chromosome anatomy thing, they don't like having a testicle and penis. It just doesn't.
That's how bad it is. Can you just, people that have people that have people that have penises, you got yours. Can you imagine it just not being there one day? So put it the other way. So just imagine it not being there one day, and you suddenly have a vagine. That's what being in the wrong body feels like, right? That's what you're supposed to imagine. I would hate to bleed every month. Yeah, you would. You get used to everything. You do. You just get used to it, and it's a pain. but I still would have it no other way. You would instantly buy a vibrator. Yeah, I suppose it's like, you know what, you finally got the model that can go over and over again without without rest. So I guess, yeah, that's what you would do. But I think she's just said, oh, I would play with it too. Yeah, I think people would probably be, as long as you know, if I knew it was going away, then I would be more open to figuring out the experience. But if I just woke up and had one out of nowhere, I would lose it. It would be the absolute nightmare. I've had nightmares where I've had facial hair, and it's fucked me up for days. Okay, so thinking, and not like male facial hair, of course you guys know I've got little wispies and things, but I've had those nightmares. So she's now explaining the distress of gender dysphoria. Cool, we understand this.
Feel right. So when you say to them, there's an operation that's long lasting and we'll get rid of it and make you a new vagina, they are like, "Ew." But other people are like, oh my God, I can't imagine it.
Yeah. Can you see why someone might say, if someone's coming in and saying, listen, this thing on me, I want it off, my body thing, that a lot of people would say that's a mental illness. You've got a mental illness.
Well,
and there is a weird thing here that where do we stop with body augmentation then as well? Is it okay for us to get cosmetic surgery then? I think getting cosmetic surgery, then it's cosmetic. Would it be harmful? This is an earlier thing that I discussed. Would it be harmful to class sex change as a cosmetic surgery? I think that it would be rejected by the trans community and found as an insult. At the same time as the transgender community, as it is now, okay, not the non-normal, okay, the crazies, lefty, wokey ones. At the same time, they will be yelling that it's not a mental illness. They would be pissed off that you would want to make it a cosmetic surgery. I'm telling you, that is what I'm thinking. Would it be worse if you one day woke up as a mom, or if Gordon woke up as a man? What? If you woke up as a man, or if Gordon woke up as a woman? Both of those things just absolutely ruin my world. So, yeah, no. I think Gordon would have a better chance of staying in my life than I would have of staying in his life if I just woke up as a man. Like if I woke up as a man, that's it, it's over. They actually get to that.
I mean, if I had a willy, I'd definitely want to cut off, and I'm not mentally ill, so I don't see it.
You're a woman.
Yeah, but, and
but you're a woman. So, but she's trying to explain to him that's what it's like. Okay, so he says, yeah, but you're a woman. She's like, they feel like they're a woman.
If you're a woman with a willy, I would understand that. And I would say you're not mentally ill. You've unfortunately grown a secondary sex characteristic that is incongruent with your gametes.
Yeah.
Let's chop the thing off.
Yeah.
But were you a man, I think you might be quite happy with your willy.
But they were never a man, and that's going back to that very question.
They were never a man. That is crazy. Okay, they were never a man. No. Okay. They had the gender dysphoria. Okay, this saying this magic word of they were never a man does not make it true. Okay, they're trying to use this word as like a magic. The language is this magic blanket that changes reality, which is they were never a man. Like, you're being poetic about it. Okay, they were, and when they have transitioned, okay, when they've had their operations, they are still not biologically, okay, a man. And it is harmful to expect people to not have it in their medical records or whatever, getting their letters that they must get their cervix checked or whatever, like those sort of things. That is not helpful. That is against reality. What the fuck is wrong with you? Sorry, now I'm getting really angry about it because I'm just thinking about that is how far you're taking the delusion. Then there is a middle ground here where you can acknowledge the way that somebody feels, but also acknowledge the reality of their physical body. Okay. It's a good thing, fine, it's life-saving. So the whole discussion about willy discussion. So I'm just going to put here willy. If I had a willy, I'd be be upset and want to get rid of it. So in my opinion, she's just trying to do that. She's trying to explain that that's exactly how distressing it would be. Okay, that you just suddenly wake up. That's what it feels, or that's the amount of distress, that your body is not your own. Your body is alien. Your body upsets you. Like, your body is inescapable. Okay, there is this incongruence. It's a horrible state of being that these people are going through. I can only imagine it. But that does not mean now that I have to use this idea that I have to say these words. They were never a man. Maybe they never grew up to be a man because they were puberty blocked, etc., etc. But they were born male. Okay, you're trying to play again with the identities, interchange with the identities and the sex. No, they were male. Okay, I would ask her. I would want to ask her. Maybe I should ask Helen on. Helen would speak to me. I want to ask her, hello, what the fuck? I want to ask her. Oh, I did a unfold. So unfold all. Okay. I would want to ask her, would you accept saying that person was never male? Is that okay language for you? They were never a man. So if we want to just call man the identity and male the biology, I would want to ask her, can she, I'm just going to put this here, can Helen say they were never male? Is that fine? Yeah, you know what she is doing? She is doing cognitive behavioral therapy on us, like trying to reframe the thoughts. The thing that's always had me bothered is that there are a significantly higher rates of male to female than female to male. It makes me question if it's really more a societal problem than a mental dysphoria. Actually, I'm not sure what the rates are. I've heard different stories. I've heard that female to male is higher, especially with autistic girls. So that's happening. That has exploded. But in terms of the problematic people, as in the people socially that are causing problems, those seem to be male to female. And it would seem that that's because there's a lot of aggression in a male to female person. Interesting. I don't know. We need to do another nerd day where we literally just read research papers. I've done that for a couple things. Yeah, I don't know about the what's what. It seems a significant amount of male to female. Yeah, so that would probably relate to the male and the loneliness epidemic. We've got some people that are transmaxing. We've got maybe it does have to do with autism, and autism is rising. So all kinds of things.
Do transgender people exist or not? And if we accept that they do, and actually, we don't have to accept that they do, but it's pretty certain that they do, because we've actually even made laws, and they were never a man. And that's going back to that very question, do transgender people exist or not? And if we accept that they do, and actually, we don't have to accept that they do, but it's pretty certain that they do, because we've actually even made laws.
We have to accept that they do, okay.
To protect them. We have Gender Recognition Act and we have the Equality Act. It's a listed characteristic. So we've already said, us as a civilized society, that transgender people exist. And that means that that hypothetical person you just talked about wasn't born a man. They were labelled as little boy when they were born, and they didn't know any other. They didn't know, but actually. But
you say sex and gender are different. So if we're just talking about sex, which I think we know 99.9% people are talking about, why do we then say they were assigned? We know as their sex was they were a boy.
Yes. So he's just questioning this. Hold up. Why do we say sex and gender are different? Then use the word assigned. This is exactly the craziness that I'm just blown away by. You have to deny. You're not denying the existence of all of this stuff, but don't deny the existence of this in order to make gender what you want. It's like it's square. You know that meme of like a kid trying to put the square in a round hole, that sort of thing. It's what you're doing. So but it's okay. We're just gonna reshape that. Gonna shape and shape slowly. We're gonna change society to accept this. And when you're using words like that, and it's already happened. It's not so much about changing the pronouns and all of that. It's actually this assigned is, it's become popular. It's become normal parlance. Assigned birth, assigned male, those sort of things. Especially you are expected this in your corporate training and things like that. You are expected to word things this way. So yeah, this has been socially engineered, and this is where I come to the idea that probably they've won.
They might inside have had some identity that later, when they were old enough to think about it, they decided they wish they had been born their sex as a girl. But they were born as you say, sex is different gender. They were born as boys.
Yeah, they were born as boys. There is nothing wrong with that. Why did you have to do this tango? Yeah.
And you're right, it is tricky. And actually,
It's tricky. It's tricky. No, it's very simple.
It is. That's simple.
Well, okay, but the world thinks at the moment in this current state, there's a lot of the world think it's tricky. And when
a lot of the world think it's tricky. No, I think you've made it tricky. You've made it tricky because it really would have worked if you'd made it the idea that it's related. They're still related, and you've made it tricky because referring to and let's just say I'm going to put this word tricky, and they disagree on this thing that she says tricky, he says simple. I think she has actually I think she has this movement, okay, has made it tricky by turning of sex into transphobia. That's it. You have to use this word assigned in order to prop up this idea, this construction of gender, of gender construction, right? This ignoring, or this fluidity of sex and all of that, gender and sex. You're making that, you're using this language to prop that up, and that's the only thing that makes it tricky. Otherwise it would be simple. It used to be simple. Okay, so he says it's simple, she says it's tricky. I don't agree with him saying it's currently simple. No, it's not. They've made it used to be, with gender being different to sex. Okay, that used to be different. That used to be it. But now it's impossible to refer to a transgender person without offending them.
Equality Act was written, for example, they included sex and gender identity, and that's what's caused the recent problem. So we got those words right. Does gender actually exist, and is Judith correct? Is it just that socially constructed thing that we made? And if we went back to I don't know how many hundreds of years ago, would we make the same mistake again and say women on this side and men on that side? Maybe we wouldn't.
Would we make the same mistake again? Would we make the same mistake again of women on this side, men on that side? The way that she's speaking about it is as if there was a meeting one day. Okay, they had a meeting about this. My favorite line from Top Gear. We had a meeting. Somebody had a meeting, and this happened. So she's talking about going back hundreds of years, and we would no longer make that decision. That wasn't a decision. That wasn't a decision. That was the way we evolved. Okay, we made a decision. Would we go back and make the decision that women need to vote, and women need to work, all of that stuff? Would we make that decision? I don't know. That's more of a decision. At least there was voting involved and things like that. But so she goes here and says, let's put it here actually. She didn't answer this assigned thing. She didn't interact with the idea that I can't say that. We view things differently now. I use different language now because the world is different. She's not going to say that, and I don't think anyone wants to admit that they're saying that in order to try and change reality, to try and socially construct a certain reality. And woe to those who resist it. Okay, we've got, she says here, what is gender? Is it a social construction? What Judith Butler. Okay. And here she says, if we went back 100 years, would we make the same decision of men over here and women over there? I want to make this a like bright and wow thing. It's in, no, that's not bright. And we need to have Phil and let's put this white here. Okay. Yeah. Yes, we would decide to exist as a species. So this is how she says it. Just it's incredible that this is a
Well, I think
direct
that touched on
quote.
another point.
Would we make the same mistake again and say women on this that we made? And if we went back to, I don't
Oh,
know,
sorry. She didn't even say decision. She said mistake. Okay, she didn't say decision, mistake. But it's the same thing. Like, would we make the same mistake? Again, it does still imply a decision. Okay. Could you go back to a certain year in which it was determined that men are men and women are women?
how many hundreds of years ago? Would we make the same mistake again and say women on this side and men on that side? Maybe we wouldn't.
Well, I think that touched
That's incredible.
on another point. And I know that every point I make you've heard 1,000 times before. I'm not going to come in with anything novel ever in any episode of Heretics I do, but I will try. And that's the other point of a lot of people consider this to be not just misogynistic, but also quite old hat, quite conservative. This idea of perpetuating gender stereotypes. Who cares if a boy wants to play with Barbies? Who cares if a girl wants to be a mathematician or something? Aren't we supposed to be moving towards a progressive world where those things don't matter anymore?
Okay, so this idea, he wants to go here. He uses this reasoning thing to say, should we, if we're progressive, if we go back to our diagram, this is why I needed it, guys. This is why we spent so much time doing it. If we go back here and we want to be progressive, these things should all just merge together and we should get rid of them. Okay, or that doesn't really matter anymore. These things don't matter in a progressive modern world. I don't think he agrees with that. Okay, he's just saying, okay, but it seems like progressivism means we don't have male and female gender roles, right? And actually, sex would just remain then if that didn't matter. Okay, sex just remains. But so he's kind of leading her into it. But it's true. There is a disconnection here in reasoning, and she does not seem to understand that or does not care enough about it. So he says, here, let's move away. Aren't we moving away from gender? Let's put it over here. Oh gosh, race, and this thing needs to be in its own like sub thing. Let's put you guys over here. Okay, sorry. Right. And we'll go here, and he says, cool, that gives me another point, which is, some people think race is concrete, but gender is a spectrum. I would think race is more of a spectrum than gender, as in like sex. Sorry, sex. Listen, if you go and speak to Neil deGrasse Tyson, sex is a spectrum, boys and girls. Oopsie. Okay. He said, isn't. So his point here is that this actually, transgenderism and all of that's genderism. See, the ism part is kind of it being an ideology. It actually perpetuates sex differences. It perpetuates stereotypes. Okay, so I'm going to put here in square brackets, he means trans perpetuates stereotypes. Isn't a progressive world one in which there are no gender roles? Doesn't matter whether you like pink or not, or play with Barbies. Okay, because that was the old thing that we were sold with feminism and that sort of thing, is like, you know what, I am what I am, you know, just Popeye all over the place. You know, you're yam what you yam. So what does she say to that?
I would love that. I would love it if somebody was born with a penis and was but identified as on the girl side, if you like, but was happy with her body. I'd love that. But at the moment, society we live in at the moment, if you look like a man but want to live as a woman, you are shunned, excluded, mocked, teased, hurt, and that's the difficulty at the moment.
Okay, so at the moment, okay, it would be great, ideally, would be able, considered a woman, okay, without looking like one. Okay, so you would just still, sorry, you would then no longer have the identity of woman. You would no longer have it, because you would no longer have stereotypical woman things. There would no longer be a collection of traits that are associated with a woman. Okay, that object ceases to exist, the way that you're trying to say that trans people cease to exist. That object socially loses, there's no cohesion, there's no longer a need for that category. We no longer have that identity. Then you're just people. Then we do land up with the same thing that has happened with all the gender identities that we have. How many different genders? It's as if there is a gender for each personality. There is a gender for every person. We just become one island and that's it. It becomes useless. So she's talking about, oh, she wants to live in a world. It would be a nice world where if the man, a male, sorry, let's remember for the purposes of this discussion, male refers to sex, man refers to the identity. If a male wants to be a woman identity, we will call her she, and she doesn't have to look like a man, a woman. She doesn't have to do anything. Then we lose women.
I'd love a situation where we didn't give, mocked, teased, hurt, and that's the difference. As a woman, you are shunned, excluded, mocked, teased, hurt, and that's
okay. I'm not condoning mocking, teasing, shunning, any of that stuff, because that's not going to help anyone. Okay, that's just stupid. Even if you aren't a Christian, that's just not a good thing. Harming people is not a good thing. I don't know. It's evolutionarily harming others is not a good thing. Okay, so, but then you can make the argument, oh, transgender people are harming us, blah, blah, blah. It gets very emotional on the other side as well. Other side being right. Okay, so without looking like one. Interesting. We've got the bullying, shun, teased. Okay, all of that stuff. Harm. Okay, hurt. So all of that, yes, that is the consequence in current day. She's saying that you would, without this, she wants a world without this. Actually, I don't even need to have this. I'll put this as opposed to. Okay, considered a woman without looking like one, or without looking like one, without having these changes, without having to change your body. Okay. That being, she would be okay with people being happy with their bodies and living as a certain kind of person. But because of the shunning and all of the judgment, it's society's problem. So now we have to change society to fit all of that.
That's the difficulty at the moment. So I'd love a situation where we didn't give all these people labels and we just live happily and everyone lived together and it didn't matter if you were a woman with a willy. It doesn't matter. But we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. So that's the thing. if you were a woman with a willy, it wouldn't matter. This is the world she wants. If you were woman, a willy, it wouldn't matter. But we're not there yet. So wouldn't it maybe be, I guess the thing gets very complicated here. That's another option for dealing with this, is you don't actually have to do, you can do what Blair White has done. And well, Blair White has still done a lot of top stuff, okay, and nothing to the bottom. Blair actually isn't a good example for this. You would, in this world, the it is ma'am person is a ma'am. So yeah, this is the world that is trying to be constructed through this subversive language, all of this. We're not there yet. So this is what the conclusion is. But at the same time, he's like, whoa, hold on, but we're then making changes to people. It's not a good thing. I'm starting to get tired, guys.
Woman with, see, when you say woman with a willy, do you mean biologically a woman who's had a willy put on?
No.
You mean?
I mean a transgender woman.
So a man is sex. Does they have a willy? They're just a man.
Well, a man isn't sex, so a male chromosome, if you like, the XY.
There we go. It seems like she's okay with saying male. Yeah.
Chromosome pattern.
So to me, this sounds. I'll just be honest, because I think you appreciate honesty. This sounds mental. But look, I'm an atheist as well. Are you spiritual, religious, or any of those things? Because you started by talking about a soul as well. So you can see why maybe you can see why someone who's secular like me and believes in science and scientific practices and so on, to hear someone come in, a doctor, and start with someone's body and it's their soul, and that's what people say. There's the sort of the gendered soul inside them. This is not really science to a lot of people.
Well, we don't understand, do we? Like,
yeah, this is I think her response here is pretty good. I want to, where are we at? 20 minutes, guys. Shoot. I need to stop here. I'm sorry. It's pretty late. I would not have gone this long if my husband was here. So you've gotten a whole extra hour from me today, without complaints, without anything like that. So we're going to stop here. I'm going to put the time code over here for us, because we're going through this whole thing. This is it. 20 minutes. I think I need to make up for, actually, let's go 19, 30. Okay. So it's the last 30 seconds because we didn't diagram that. Okay. You identify as a fish? What kind of fish though? Hello? Are you the rainbow fish? Right. So that's it. Yeah, I made it to work. But since I made it to work, we're ending the stream, the whole stream. That is such a harrowing journey. Well done. Well done making it. The entire band. Okay. Right. Guys, that's where, as far as we're getting today, but we'll be quicker tomorrow because I won't have the preamble. We've got our pre-diagram that we keep referring to. So far, let's just have a quick look at what our diagram currently looks like. I did do I think I'll have to, when it comes to the race comparison thing, I'll put that on a separate sheet, a separate mind map, and share that separately. But yeah, we've gotten quite far into this what is a woman discussion. We've covered most of the idea. We've definitely covered most of this, right? The whole sex-based versus performance-based discussion. You can see where those things lie in this discussion. Okay. We haven't gone into the idea of transgender as a mental illness. That's the thing, though. We've had it written, kind of, it's discussed. Yes. Oh well, it's difficult. It is it's something that requires medical attention. We've had that, but we haven't had the discussion of why we can't call it a mental illness. We've touched on the theme of changing words around to try and change reality, and it has had an effect. And the world that this ideology sort of tries to get to is one where the lines between male and female are very blurred. And And you know what? Sorry, let's just get to a monologue page. Monologue ready. Okay. The world actually, yeah, it has changed, in my opinion. In the favor of this kind of ideology, because now I would not be so offended if somebody said to me, like I've had somebody come in when we've spoken about trans issues or whatever. I've had somebody come in and say, "Are you trans?" And that is usually used as a gotcha on people when they're protesting for trans rights and things like that. Women are then said, "Congratulations." The man says to them, "Congratulations on your transition," and they get very upset because they're like, "Oh, so you trans? It's no, I'm a real woman." Ooh, and then they get very upset. All of that stuff. Sure, that's funny, but now for me, just in terms of my perception of the world, that is something that is legitimate. It's a legitimate question to ask someone these days. It's something that, yeah, people can lie about, but the point is, you will look at someone now, an actress or something like that, and you don't know. You don't need to when it comes to an actress or anything like that. If they're doing their job properly, that's fine. But yeah, when it comes to just normal social stuff, it's a legitimate question to ask someone if they're trans now. So I would say that that's an indicator. That is an indicator of, and I said, but what I mean by legitimate is the same sort of thing as V would call it. You put up with it. You are not so, you would get past it. You don't get that irritated. I think I would get irritated if I was not believed, though. That would be quite irritating. Adult gender reveal parties. Yes, that's cool. Right. The Crying Game movie, is that the one with the no, now I'm thinking of Boys Don't Cry. Anyway. Right, that's just what I'm saying. I think things have changed. Even Sydney Sweeney. You know what? That's the thing, Matt. What's happening now is we've got narratives where it's like, oh, Big Mark. Everybody's decided that Michelle Obama's a man, and Bonnie Blue, apparently, you know Bonnie Blue, the one that everyone talks about. She's the one that had intercourse with what do you call it? With 1,000 men, and now she's going for 2,000, whatever. Oh, apparently she's a man. Like that is a normal thing that has to happen online now because people don't know. We've got our friend Candace Owens, friend of the channel, who is out here accusing political figures of being men when they're not. That whole thing. So yeah, Bonnie Blue is 1,000% a dude. Look, it would make sense that they're able to do that. Okay, but that is that person's surgeon. If that is it, Bonnie Blue surgeon needs to be recommended all over the place. You can that's a well passing one. Are you a Sammy now? He does friend of the channel a lot. I just did it now today because of the Zerofax. Actually, to end us off, guys, let me share with you something beautiful. I'm sure Zerofax will not copyright strike me for this. We can enjoy it with gusto. I think I put it in the Discord as well, so it's fine. Where is did I put it in listen to this, or did I put it in memes? I think I might have put it in memes. Just hold up. Funny, CPappy was like, failed no nut November because depression fucked him so hard. Okay, let's go here. Will you play the video? Okay. Zerofax gave us something. He always gives us incredible stuff. Hold up. Let us change to this. Everybody,
said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that.
so Charlie came to her. Sorry, just we can watch the whole thing. It's not, there's nothing wrong with it. Here you go. Let me start it again. I'll just jam along next to it.
Like I just said, had a vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed. And so for me, you don't have to believe that, but I do believe that.
It's gonna get in your head, guys.
We know Israel did 9/11. Dirty Tuesday, they did 9/10 too. They put an end to my beloved friend.
Sing along.
I'll close my eyes, fall asleep, and see him again. Charlie, who did this to you? Some Utah Mormon or a penny grabbing Jew.
Did you see him holding the pennies? Sorry.
Charlie, who planned to take your life? A foreign country, your team, and your wife. Charlie, who did this to you? A transferee lover or Netanyahu? Charlie, I know it's not what it seems.
Pay attention to the visuals. They're beautiful.
I don't know who exactly it is that betrayed him, but I also felt in the dream that it is soon going to be revealed, that it's actually inevitable that it is going to be revealed, that there's nothing and no one that is going to stop the truth from coming out.
The FBI says he is a liberal pro. From text messages and Discord logs, they cover up all the evidence. But in my dream,
You see that?
I have the sixth sense. Charlie, who did this to you? A college dropout or a greedy
Frankus.
Ooh, Charlie, who planned to take your life? A foreign country, your team, and your wife.
A foreign country, your team, and your wife.
Charlie, who did this to you? A lone wolf patsy for Netanyahu. Charlie, I know it's not what it seems. I'll tell the world what you tell me in my dreams.
Such a good song. Oh, look. I love the detail here. 9, 10, 25. It's all the right, all on the right time. It's that beautiful, Zerofax. Oh wait, no, I think there's a bit at the end. Oh no, it wasn't there. Yeah, so there you go. Charlie, it's in your head. It's in your head now, right? it's a great one. Zerofax, no, thank you, Zerofax. Humorous but sad. It is very sad. It is it's sad that everything is just up in the air. We don't know what to believe, so we believe this and then we believe that, and all things all over the place. We actually, that does come back in. We do talk about who does certain studies for transgender affirming care and all of that. That makes me think of this idea of which facts would you like to believe? These days, that's it. It's about which facts would you like. But anyhow, she's very lost. That it was so good. It is a banger, guys. Go and give some love to Zerofux. He posted that on the Twatters. And have you put it on your channel? He's in chat right now. There's the man, everybody. There's a man. There's a man. There's a man. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, guys, that is enough for today. We will continue this journey tomorrow. Maybe we do 2 sessions. So one in the morning where basically it'll just be the Australians and late night Americans. And then maybe another one at this time, a shorter one later during the day. I was thinking about putting it up on YouTube. Put it up on YouTube, please do. And link it. Okay. She looks like Andre 3000 in the AI. Listen, I think it was close enough for a lot of it. Yeah, it was great. Meme, I think that's, can you send me that video? It's in the Discord. It's in the memes there. There's a link to it. But I guess if you want the actual video, I think you can download it from Twitter. Yeah. All right, guys. We'll go to the outro song, the right one this time. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Also a reminder that we will be having a Thanksgiving on on Thursday night for Americans. Not the whole team will be there, but we'll still have a discussion. So, see you there.
I'll see you next time, bro. Okay, thanks. Bye. We're squirky as fuck. Daisy's a menace, but we were having fun the whole time. I'll see you next time, bro. Okay, thanks. Bye. We're squirky as fuck. We're squirky as fuck. Daisy's a menace, but we were having fun the whole time. I'll see you next time, bro. Okay, thanks. Bye. We're squirky as fuck. We're squirky as fuck. We're squirky as fuck. Okay, thanks. Bye.